자, 이번에 할 게임은 슬레이 더 프린세스라는 게임이고요. 한글 패치가 나와서 한번 해보겠습니다. 일단 뭐 내용이 공주를 죽여라는 내용의 게임이네요. 한번 가봅시다. 공주와 영웅?
path in the woods, and at the end of that path is a cabin, and in the basement of that cabin is a princess.
이거 더빙도 있구나.
You're here to slay her.
공주를 죽이는 것이다, 역할이.
It will be the end of the world.
죽이지 않는다면 세상은 멸망할 거다. 뭐야? 선택지가 왜 이렇게 많지? 이렇게 많다고? 멸망 그게 무슨 소리지? 아무리 그래도 공주를 죽이다니 너무 심하지 않아? 됐어, 난 안 할래? 내가 세상이 끝장난다 해도 신경 쓰지 않을 거란 가능성은 생각 안 해봤어. 좋았어, 군주의 목을 치러 갈까? 혁명 만세. 조용히 오두막에 간다. 묵묵하게 갑시다. 묵묵하게 가자.
The short path to the cabin. You'll find the princess within. A warning before you go any further.
경고 하나 하죠?
She will cheat, and she will do everything in her power to stop you from slaying her.
야, 거짓말과
Don't
속임수
believe a word
할 수
she
있는 모든
says.
수법을 쓴다고? 믿지 말라고?
We're not going to go through with this, right? She's a princess. We're supposed to save princesses, not slay
그러게.
them.
공주는 구해야 되는데.
Ignore him. He doesn't know what he's talking about.
저자는 무시하세요? 우와, 맵도 움직인다.
The interior of the cabin is almost entirely bare. The air is stale and musty, and the floor and walls are painted in a fine layer of dust.
날카로운
The
단검이
only
놓여
furniture of
있다.
note is a
이걸
plain
들고
wooden
가라는
table.
건가?
Perched
근데
on
얘는
that table
공주를 죽이러
is a
온 놈이
pristine blade.
무기도 없이 들고 왔어? 여기를?
The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you want to do this right.
가져간다. 들어간다. 가져가.
You take the blade from the table.
혹시 모르니까
It'll
일단
be
챙겨.
rather difficult to slay the princess and save the world
단검이었다면
without
공주를
it.
죽여 세상을 구하는 일이 쉽지 않을 테니까요. 들어간다.
The door to the basement creaks open, revealing a staircase faintly illuminated by an unseen light in the room below. This is an oppressive place. The air feels heavy and damp, a hint of rot filtering
공주가
from
산다면
the
죽여주는
ancient
것이
wood.
오히려 자비로운
If the
일이겠군요.
princess really lives here, slaying her is probably doing her a favor. Her voice carries up the stairs.
Who's there?
오, 누구지?
She sounds dangerous. It's almost as if she's the one in charge down here. Don't let it fool you. It's all part of the manipulation.
안녕? 그냥 괜찮은지 보러 왔어. 널 죽이러 왔는데? 그냥 묵묵하게 계속 내려가?
Good. You're still listening to reason.
이 컨셉 지키자. 그냥 아무 말 없이 가자 그냥. 가서 쓱
You walk down the
죽이고 오는
stairs
거야.
and lock eyes with the princess. There's a heavy chain around her wrist, binding her to the far wall of the basement. She's so coldly beautiful. Is she really a threat to the world?
그러게. 아리따우신 분인데.
Focus on the task at hand.
And there you are. Are you here to kill me or
아,
something?
이러면 또 마음이 약해지는데.
You step forward.
하지만 컴셋
Your grip
지켜.
on the blade tightens
나는
as
말을
you steel your resolve.
말을 하지 않아. 말을 하지 않고 임무만 다 할 뿐.
Oh? No talking then? Fine. What even makes you think you can kill me? I'm probably chained up in this basement for a reason, right? And if that knife is the only weapon you have, you'll have to get close enough to use it. So, you should just drop it. Best not to risk finding out what I can do.
존나 센 놈인가봐. 전혀 무서워하지 않아.
She's unarmed. If you hesitate now, it'll be too late. End this. You lunge forward without a moment's hesitation.
공주를 죽인다. 바로 말도 없이 그냥 가.
You feel flesh
자신감이야.
easily give way and look down to see your blade already sinking deep into her heart.
바로 그냥 빠꾸 없이 이게 찔러버리네.
Oh. This is it, isn't it? I'm almost embarrassed. I should have seen that coming.
어? 예상하지
I have to
못했다니?
wonder,
나도 안 싫어. 뭔 소리야? 왜 예상을 못해?
do you actually believe this
어이씨.
was enough to kill me?
안 죽었구나. 말도 제대로 하는 거 보니까 안 죽었네.
It's
이거.
like she's convinced she can't die.
무적 아니야 이거? 막 갑자기 상처 수복하는 거 아니야?
Yes. Even as she lays there dying,
죽어가는
she
와중에도?
entirely believes herself
얘는
to be
죽고 있나
alive
본데?
and well. But it's over, isn't it? She stopped breathing moments ago. That arrogant look still plastered on her face.
죽었어 근데.
But is it over? Really over?
어? 아 컨셉 지켜야 되는데 말해야 되네. 당연히 아니지. 너무 쉬웠잖아. 그러게 너무 쉬웠어.
It's over. Don't get all worked up.
갑자기 뒤에서 또 나타나는 거 아니야?
We should make sure. What's the harm in checking for a pulse? I really don't think you should do that. And why shouldn't we? Is there something you're not telling us? I've told you everything that's happened with complete accuracy. The princess is dead. Your blade pierced her heart. There's no coming back from that.
단검을 뽑는다. 맥박을 잰다. 네 말이 맞아. 공주는 죽었어. 단검을 뽑는다.
You lean down and wrap your hand around the
맥박은
blade.
재지 말랬어. 추천하지 않는데. 그럼 단검은 뽑아도 되는 거 아니야?
But as you begin to slide it out of its resting place,
응?
you feel a
뽑는
sharp
순간
and
옆구리에
sudden
날카로운
jab in your
감정을 느낍니다.
side.
근데 나 손이 인간이 아닌가 보네.
What was that?
I guess I won't be dying alone after all.
저승길 동무가 생겼. 갑자기 눈 떴어.
Quick, let's get out of here.
그냥 나갔어야 됐나 보네.
It's too
Oh.
late for that now. You collapse to the ground as the mortally wounded princess twists a blade of her own deeper between
얘는
your
칼이
ribs.
어디 썼는 건데? 나 어떻게
As
찔렸지?
you fall, she falls with you, exhausted by the effort. The little life that was left in her eyes fades.
그녀에게 남아있던 작은 생명의 불이 희미해져갑니다.
An eye for an eye.
아,
A life.
아 그냥
for a
갔으면
life.
죽는 건데
I guess
괜히
we're
단검을
even now.
뽑아가지고 그냥 말 안 하고 집에 가지.
See you around.
또 보자고?
You were so close. Why did you hesitate? It doesn't matter.
자, 그래도 내 목숨을 희생해서 임무를 성공했어.
For whatever that's worth. Everything goes
이렇게
dark.
죄책감으로 살 바에야 죽는 게 나아. 뭐야, 챕터 2 칼날 죽었는데 챕터 2가
You're
있네.
on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path
이거
is a
아까 들었던
cabin.
대사인데?
And
처음에?
in the basement of that cabin is a princess. You're here to slay her. If you don't, it will be the end.
뭐야 이거? 끔찍한 데자부가 느껴지는데? 잠깐 이거 일어났던 일 아니야? 난 죽었을 텐데 왜 내가 여기 있는 거지? 하지만 난 공주를 이미 죽였는데 물론 나도 공주에게 죽었지만 분명 죽었다고. 왜 내가 또 여기 있는 거지? 이번에도 아니야 이번에 좀 말 좀 하자
I can assure
이번에.
you that you didn't slay her and that she didn't kill you. People don't just spring back to life after dying, and the two of us are meeting.
처음 만난 사이라고요? 방금까지 얘기했는데.
If he doesn't remember what happened, then maybe it's best to keep it that way.
This whole thing's a crock of shit. She's just going to pull a knife out of nowhere and stab us
배신감의 목소리
again.
뭐야 이거?
Stabbed to death.
왜 목소리가 두
You
개가
won't have to
됐어?
worry about that. The princess is unarmed.
Yeah, that's exactly what you told us last time. You said this whole thing would be easy.
아니, 어떻게
but after we
죽였지?
sank
공주
our
칼
blade into her
없었는데.
heart, she just got up and started stabbing us.
Calm down. I assure you she has no weapons. So there's no reason to fear her. You were made for this job. You'll do.
여기 마개인가? 공주만 인간인가? 아닌데? 인간이니 하기엔 너무 센데? 내 말대로 이 모든 일이 이미 일어났던 일이라고 치자. 왜 내가 네 말을 들어야 하지? 이 모든 일에 의미가 있단 말이야.
These are two very different questions.
이번엔 좀
but
질문 좀 하는
I'll
컨셉으로
approach
가자.
you if that's what it
말
takes to
좀-
get you moving.
모든 걸 다 궁금해하는 컨셉.
Let's say for a moment that this really is the second time you've met me, or at least a version of me. You died last time, which probably only happened because you didn't listen to me.
지난번에 죽었다는 것은 당신이 제 말대로 하지 않았기
We
때문이라고?
mostly listened to you. How are we supposed to know she'd
딱 한 번
sprung
말 안
back to
듣긴
life?
했었는데.
If she sprung back to life,
죽이지
in this
않았기 때문이라고? 그
hypothetical
일부러
scenario,
죽은
then
척한 거야,
clearly
그러면?
You didn't slay her. But congratulations, you've been given a chance to actually
두
do
번째
this.
기회가
And
생겼다고.
I believe your other question was something along the lines of, "Oh, what's the point of doing anything?" If you're asking that, it sounds to me like you're making the rather dangerous assumption that your actions last time around didn't have any consequences. What do you mean? Of course there weren't any consequences. We stabbed the princess stabbed us, and now everyone's right back to where they started. That sounds pretty consequence-free to me. Yes, but in this purely hypothetical scenario, that begs the question of how you got back.
그러게 시간이
Did
되돌아갔나?
time simply rewind itself? Or were you
어떻게
instead
갔지?
transported to a
다른
different
세상인가 그러면?
environment?
다른 세계선인가?
Had you failed to slay the princess, what would have happened to everyone in the place you
어떻게
left?
됐냐고?
Screw this. Who cares what happened to everyone else? She's not going to play fair, so we should do what we can to save ourselves
그래,
and
도망이나 가자.
just get out of here.
그때
At
멸망하면
least you
끝
know not
아닌가?
to trust her, but you do realize that everything and everyone includes you, right? If you turn around and leave, you're dooming yourself as well as everyone else. We were so close to finishing the job last time. She can't get the jump on us twice. If we're careful, we should be fine.
두 번이나 이길 수 없을 거야?
That's the spirit. Just keep that stiff upper lip, and you'll save the world in no time at all.
공주에 대해 이야기해보자.
Just be quick about it.
계속 질문해 끊임없이. 지난번에 우리는 서로를 죽였어. 또 그런 일이 생기지 않으리라고 어떻게 확신하지? 지난번에 공주가 한 짓이라고 날 찔러 죽인 거밖에 없는데 그런 사람이 어떻게 세상을 멸망시킨다는 거야? 누가 그녀를 지하실에 가뒀지? 이곳은 대체 어떤 곳이야? 대체? 이거 왜 글씨가 진하지? 이걸로 가볼까?
People locked her in that basement, and I told you what this place is. It's a path
숲속의
in the
낭길이라고 이미
woods.
설명했다.
Don't overcomplicate
사람들이
things.
가뒀다. 사람들이 그녀를 가뒀다. 왜 그자들은 공주를 죽이지 않은 거지? 어째서 내게 떠넘기는 거지? 그니까 공주가 일부러 가둔 거 아니야?
Look, I'm not supposed to say this, but it's because you're special. You're the only person capable of doing this.
어?
Call it a prophecy, if that helps.
내가 특별하기
It's just
때문이다.
the way things are. Oh, I didn't know we were special. Of course you're special. Why else would you be here?
If anyone's special here, it's her. Last I checked, we can't.
특별한
get
사람이
a
있다면
knife in
그건
the chest.
공주겠지. 그니까 어딘가 수상쩍은데 숨기는 게 뭐지?
I've told you everything you need to know. Going into more detail would just
진실을 말해.
otherwise very simple
그래야
situation
공주를
and make
죽이지.
your job more difficult. You didn't tell us about her knife last time, though. That's because she's unarmed. And more than that, it's because
공주
there wasn't
무기
a
있었는데?
last time.
나 찔렀는데? 이것도 선택할 수 있네?
Like I said, if she killed you, it was probably because you didn't listen to me. Don't talk to her, don't trust her, just go in, do your job, and save the world. Oh, and don't get stabbed while you're at it.
이번에 찔려 죽지 말라고?
She just can. But she's still only a princess.
뭔 공주일
Fully up to
뿐이야.
the task you've been given,
힘
so
개센
long as you
공주던데.
remember that.
뭐야 이거는 뭐
Great. Now, if you don't
대답이
mind, the whole world is
추가적인
waiting with
질문이
bated
없네.
breath for you to save it from ruin.
떠난다. 오두막에 간다. 가자.
A warning before you go any further. She will lie, she will cheat, and she will do everything. He couldn't be more on the money. But we're really doing this, aren't we? I'd say you're lost, but I'm stuck here with you.
아우
We know what to
겁나
look out for this
시끄러워졌어.
time. We know
한
to
명
be
더
careful.
생겨가지고 목소리.
Just stay focused and you'll be fine. The interior of the cabin is a jagged mess of
아
warped
여기
wood and
갑자기 집이
broken
왜 이러냐
boards,
이거?
their splintered edges as uninviting as shattered glass. The only furniture of note is a pointed table
그래도 단검은
with a
있어.
pristine blade perched on its edge. The blade
다른
is your
세계선인가
implement.
본데 지금?
You'll need it if you want to do this right.
거울? 거울에 가봐.
You walk up to the wall next to the basement door. It's a wall. There isn't much to see here. What are you talking about? This isn't a wall. It's a mirror. Or at least it'll be a
거울 좀
mirror once we
닦아보면
wipe
안
off
되나?
that layer of grime.
닦는다.
You reach forward and rub your hand against the cabin wall. I hope you know how ridiculous you look right now. But there was a mirror a second ago.
오 뭐야? 거울이었는데? 왜 갑자기 거울이 없어졌어?
Now it's gone. Yet another thing in here playing tricks on us.
뭐야 이거?
Hate this place.
아니 어디 갔어? 아니 뭐야?
Very different. Maybe that's because you haven't actually been here. I hope this means you'll finally drop that ridiculous past life nonsense. You
아,
haven't
나
died,
죽었는데
you
진짜.
certainly
이
haven't been killed by
해설자는
the princess.
다른 사람인가? 날 처음 해설하는 사람인가? 이
So
사람은?
focus up.
그래서 죽은지
What's
모르는
riding on
건가?
this?
가져가.
You take the blade from the table. It feels a bit better to have a weapon in our hands. Let's make her hurt for what
이제 보면 이 해설자도 수상하긴 한데.
The door to the basement creaks open, revealing what must once have been stairs. The fractured slats look as if they've been torn from their source and violently jammed into the wall. The air seeping up from below has an almost metallic quality to it, like the smell of fresh blood. And you can hear what sounds like the
강철을
rhythmic
긁는
scraping of
듯한
metal
소리도
coming from
들린다.
down below. If the princess lives here, slaying her would probably be doing her a favor. That's right, scraping. I told
근데
you she has
소리
something. I
나긴
told
하는데
you.
뭐 스릉.
That sound could be anything. It's probably
그래,
just her chains
사슬이
dragging
바닥에
across
끌리는
the
소리?
floor. I am begging you to get out of your head. Her grating voice carries up the stairs.
I hope you've come to rescue me. I've been stuck down here forever.
There is something so wrong with that voice. Yeah, she thinks she's better than us, like she doesn't even have to put on an act this time.
그치?
As you descend the
뭐야?
final step, the form of the princess comes into view, her sharp eyes following you from across the room.
맵이 바뀌었어.
I wonder if she remembers us.
Finally, somebody! Quick, get me out of these chains. We're not safe here.
여긴 위험해?
come on now, we're not falling for that, are we? She's trying to trick us, but she can't hide that threatening edge
있는데,
to her
이거?
voice. She just wants us to get close,
그리고
to
좀
let our
위험하긴 한데
guard
웃고
down.
있어서.
If she sounds threatening, it's because her mask is already slipping. She knows why you're here. You are armed, after all.
What are you waiting for? You are here to rescue me, right?
죽이러 왔는데. 지난번에 무슨 일이 있었는지 기억해? 내가 다가가면 날 찔러 죽이려고? 네가 칼 있는 거 다 알아. 칼을 버린 다음에 여기서 나가게 해줄게. 나도 널 믿고 싶지만 지금 너무 미심쩍게 굴잖아. 우리 그냥 대화로 해결하면 안 될까? 우린 지난번에 서로 죽였어. 되풀이하고 싶지 않아. 나한테 화난 건 이해하지만 우리 그냥 지나간 일은 지나간 일로 두자. 지난번에 네가 죽고 나서 무슨 일이 일어났지? 우리 그냥 서로 솔직하게 털어놓은 거 어때? 난 세계 멸망의 위협인 널 막으러 왔고 넌 지난번에 심장에 칼을 맞고도 되살아나서 날 죽였지. 와, 아니 뭐 이렇게 많아 선택지가. 널 풀어줄게. 못 믿겠다. 죽인다. 에라 모르겠다. 이 공주는 너무 나쁜 놈인 것 같은데. 지금 웃고 있는 게 너무 그런데. 이걸로 갈까? 우리 그냥 솔직하게 털어놓는 거 어때?
That doesn't sound like me.
네가 그랬어.
There you go again, talking up delusions about a past life experience that clearly didn't happen.
전생에 대해 끊임없이
You're
말하자.
working together on this, aren't you listening to her? She's obviously
뭐야, 딱 봐도
lying
거짓말하고
through her teeth.
있다는데?
I'm terrible at spotting lies, and even I can tell something's up here. We can't be the only ones that looped back to the start. Someone else has to remember, right?
얘도 알고 있나 본데?
Yes, something is obviously up, and we can all tell that she's lying. The thing she's lying about is how dangerous she
예,
is, not
손에 뭐 있나
dimension
보다.
hopping or
이거 하나
time
풀렸잖아.
travel or whatever it is you think you're doing.
뭐야, 끝이야? 널 내보내주면 뭘 할 생각이지? 지난번에 네가 죽고 나서 무슨 일이 일어났지?
That's funny. You're funny. I'm not dead. So
아니,
I
넌
can't
죽었어.
decide.
내가 봤어. 계속 물어봐.
I have absolutely zero doubts that she is going to stab us if we get close to her.
근데 죽으려면은 가까이
She
가야
certainly
되는데.
feels threatening.
Just because she's acting like she's going to stab you doesn't mean she has the means to actually do it. But you know who is armed? You. So stop second-guessing yourself and do your job. But I'm nervous. All the more reason to jump into the deep end and deal with her right now before you waste any more time getting stuck in your head.
왜 계속 재촉하는 거야? 난 열쇠가 없어. 되풀이하고 싶지 않아. 정확히 그거잖아? 기억하고 있네?
Would I just lie? Would I just lie to your face and tell you a thing I remembered happening didn't happen just so I could stab you again?
계속 물어봐.
I mean, just so I could stab you for the first time.
처음으로 찔러 죽이려고? 뭔 소리지 그게?
Ha! She slipped up there. She said again.
너 기억하고
Taking
있구나.
it back.
말 실수가 나왔대. 처음으로?
Do you hear how deranged you sound right now? Please stop dawdling. This is only going to end with violence. Postponing the inevitable is only going to make it worse for you when it actually happens.
뭐야? 그리고 또 뭐 추가된 대사 없나? 되풀이하고 싶지 않아.
But if we killed each other, then why are we here right now? Both
너가 살린 거 아니야?
and unstabbed.
얘 갑자기 표정 이상해졌는데? 우리 그냥 지나간 일은 지나간 일로 두자.
But I'm not mad at you, so please stop standing so far out of reach.
가까이 오라고? 뒤에 뭔가 들고 있다 무조건.
How many more times does she have to vaguely threaten you before you finally decide you're ready to deal with her?
아 기다려봐. 좀만 하면 더
Clearly
넘어올
still
것
figuring
같은데.
out our angle. We don't have the luxury of watching this from a distance. Oh, I'm sorry. Do you think I'm in a position
좀만
of
더
luxury?
말하면은 이거
You
짜증나서
are.
밝힐 것 같은데 비밀?
My entire world is at risk. Then maybe you should behave with a little more humility. A bit of self-deprecation would go a long way. No, I have my dignity. Fine, and will continue to treat you exactly how you deserve to be treated.
내가 다가가면 날 찔러 죽이려고? 나도 널 믿고 싶지만 지금 너무 미심쩍게 굴잖아. 이걸로 가자.
That's so rude of you, passing judgments on strangers you've never met just because they're different from you. How would you like
누가 더
it if I did
표정이
that, huh?
수상하잖아 너는.
Silly little bird face thinks he's so serious coming down here but doesn't know anything. Thinks he could tell me to get rid of all
아직
the
칼
knives I
버리라는
don't
말
even have while
했었나
he gets
내가?
to wave one around right in front of me. I bet you didn't like that, did you? I bet you didn't like being judged for no reason.
남을
I think I've
판단하는 건
said my
기분
piece at
나쁜가요?
this point. I think we all have. But if you want to keep exhausting your questions, it beats getting stabbed to death.
네가 칼이 있는 거 다 알아. 칼 버린다 여기서 나가게 해줄게. 아직 말 안 해줬? 말 안 했는데 칼 있다고. 못 믿겠다. 널 풀어줄게. 날 찔러 죽이려고?
Oh, no, I wouldn't stab
뭐야 갑자기 웃어.
you.
아,
I am just a
이
sweet,
선택지가 아닌가?
innocent princess trapped here for no reason. And you are a brave knight who's supposed to walk up to, not stabbing distance to help me.
아 표정 이상하긴 한데 이 사람.
Okay, I'm bored now.
어? 질렸다고?
She's bored? That's absurd. She doesn't get to be bored.
너무 말을
What
많이
matters,
걸었나?
She's a prisoner. She's shit. In a sudden burst of movement, the princess leaps towards you, a blade erupting from her free arm, her wrist limp and empty from the violent expulsion.
아니 뭐야?
So I guess she
아니
did have a knife of her own after all.
팔에서 칼이
How
나오는데?
conciliatory of you. We appreciate it, really. Now what are we going to do? At least we're safe here. She's still in chains. And those chains stop her from continuing her advance, at least for a moment.
야, 이거 여기서도 칼 나오는 거 아니야?
She looks down at them with something
설마!
between annoyance and
칼
confusion.
자르나?
And then
오!
she slices through her arm. Okay, maybe we aren't safe here. She doesn't even
오,
hesitate
아니,
before darting
웃으면서
towards you with a
달려오는데?
terrifying speed you can't hope to outpace. Ah, shit. Okay, she's down an arm and we still have a weapon. I
야
guess we'll have
단검밖에
to use
없는데
it.
어떻게 이겨?
And use it you do. Unfortunately for you and for the entire world.
어? 아 근데
아,
당신은 상대가 못
horribly
된대. 너무 센가 보다 공주가.
You keep pace with her for a single brief and wordless exchange before she severs your hand and, with it, your only line of defense.
아니 내 손
She's
내
much better
팔이-
at this than she was last time.
지난번보다 훨씬 강해졌어?
Yeah, it's unreal. Bloody cheater.
I'm going to kill you now.
아니 한 번만 살려주세요.
With a
Oh.
squelch, she does just that. Everything goes dark.
아 간을 그만 봤어야 됐다. 너무 간 봐가지고 죽은 것 같은데. 뭐야 일단 챕터 3 군비 경쟁.
You're on a path in the woods. No, fuck that. If we're gonna
여기
have to
어디야?
keep doing this over and over and over again, we're not starting in that goddamn woods every time.
오두막에서 바로
We're
시작한다고?
starting in the fucking cabin.
이 목소리 아직도 나오네.
What? The interior of the cabin is sharp.
어 이거 또 왜 이래 이거
Constricting mess
맵이.
of curved and battered sheet metal pushing you towards. Wait, excuse me? What just happened? What did you just do? I feel dizzy.
이번에 거울밖에 없는데.
I guess I took us to the cabin, didn't I? Isn't that interesting? Who holds the cards now?
The circle's getting smaller and smaller. Running isn't an option.
공간이 점점 좁아지고 있어?
We have to fight.
What's the point of fighting if she's just going to win every time?
이제 절망의 목소리가 추가됐다.
Sliced to pieces.
배신,
We're
절망.
better off just sitting up here and doing nothing.
Great. So obviously you've already been here. How many times?
몇 번째죠? 이제 세
This is our
번째인데?
No wonder things have fallen apart. You do realize that every time you fail, she
실패할 때마다
escapes and
공주가
an
탈출하고
entire
세계가
world is
멸망한다는
damned
거
to
알고.
destruction, right?
아, 죽여야 되나 보다.
That can't be right. That's too much responsibility.
일단 공주는 뭔가 외계 생명체 같아.
I couldn't agree more. We couldn't be trusted with the fate of a single person, let alone the fate
근데
of the world.
못 죽이던데?
Let's just stay focused, shall we? The only furniture of note is a bent
또
metal
단검이야.
A pristine blade perched. We take it. Okay, sure. You take the blade before letting me finish.
뭐 이제
telling you
알아서
what's
단검
there.
챙기는데?
It would be difficult to slay the princess and save the world without a weapon. This feels right. We just have to keep our senses sharp. That's right. We've got to be able to win eventually.
And what if we never do?
So, are you just going to stand there, or are you going to head to the basement like you're supposed to? I'd love to get started just as much as you would, but how are
거울
we supposed
치우면은
to get down
나오나?
there?
입구가?
You walk through the door. You do know
문이
what
어디 있는데?
doors are, right? But there isn't a door. It's just that mirror again. There isn't a mirror. You really messed things up, didn't you? It's like you can't even see reality.
나만 이렇게 보이나 봐.
I can feel the air coming up from behind it, stinking of iron and steel. He might be right. Could be a trick. If our other senses can't feel it, then we can't trust it.
다가갔다.
You make your way to the door at the end of the room, stopping just in front of it. You really must think you're looking at a mirror. Well, it doesn't exist.
Let's just move it out of the way without looking. I don't want to see us. I'm sure we all look awful after dying twice.
Let's just fumble for the handle and be done with it. I don't care what we look like. I care about getting to the end of this mess.
닦는다.
You reach forward and place your hand on the door to the basement. It creaks.
뭐야, 닦는다는데 왜 문을 열어?
And the mirror's gone. How surprising. It was never there. Just an illusion. Guess it's time for us to see her again. Just stay focused and you'll be fine. You step forward, but you don't get a chance to linger on the basement stairs. They
계단이
are
없다고?
smooth and flat and metallic, an unintentional and unfortunately slippery ramp that quickly sends you skittering to the bottom. Your body tumbles onto the basement floor
또
and the
웃고
form
있어,
of the princess
공주.
comes into view, standing at a distance.
또
She
씨,
gives
나
you a wry
죽일
smile.
듯한 미소로. 이거 어쩌면 좋냐? 내가 어떻게
Hi,
죽여야
it looks
되지?
like you don't have a way out, so I'm not going to play dumb anymore.
이제 연기는 집어치우는데.
But don't worry about how bad you did last time. That's part of the fun.
아, 다 기억하고 있네 얘도. 지난번에 어떻게 형편없었는지.
Fun for her, maybe. I didn't like dying all over again.
아, 말을 너무 많이 걸었어.
Dying
내가.
makes us as good as dead. The only thing that matters is survival. Actually, does survival matter? We've died twice and nothing bad has come of it. We just need to find a way to
어떻게
win once.
그 한 번 어떻게 이기냐? 100번 도전해 죽어야
Nothing
되나?
bad has come of it yet. Plenty bad has come of it. You've left at least one entire world to ruin. The people there mattered. The past isn't real. There's only here and now.
사냥감의 목소리는.
Your internal bickering is cut short by the wet sound of slicing
아니
meat.
대화도
The
할
princess's
틈도
arms
없이
erupt twin
뭐
blades,
이런다고?
glistening with her blood. The empty flesh of her arms flopping at her elbows like torn sleeves.
아니 한 번만
The
대화할
gypsies loose.
시간 좀
She
주세요.
is coming for you.
You're going to make me walk
아니,
over to
제가
you, aren't
가겠습니다.
you?
Shit.
아니
She's
제가
coming for us and I'm
가겠습니다.
out
그
of
가만히
ideas.
계시죠. 물론 싸워야지. 아니야 싸우면 저 대화로 해결하지 못할 건 없어. 유혹하면 되잖아. 패닉한다. 싸운다. 감각을 느끼지 않는다면 공주도 우리 아프게 하지 못해. 그럼 우리가 우리를 먼저 죽이는 거라고? 다른 걸 생각한다? 다른 거 생각해.
Yeah, that's right. We just have to think. There's probably an answer if we think.
Just standing there, huh? A bold strategy.
You don't have time to finish your thought. In a moment,
아니,
she's
아니,
across the
생각할
room,
시간도
blades
없어?
flashing in the dim starlight. She skewers you.
아니, 딴 걸 할 거야.
Ow. What a surprise.
생각할 시간도
We don't even
없구나.
get a second to think without her stabbing
주인공
us.
버프로 생각은
Oh, new one of
갑자기
us.
또 다른 선택지가 나올 줄 알았는데.
I thought that only happens when we die. Did we die? You're on a... No, you're in a... Where the hell are you?
I think we're dead. And that's all we'll ever be.
와, 웃는 것 봐.
Dead, 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 dead.
Stop saying dead, all of you. We might have died a second ago, but right now we're extremely not dead.
뭐야, 지금은 확실히 살아있잖아.
Horribly wrong. How many times have you been here?
This is 4.
네 번째.
No wonder everything's such a mess. This wasn't supposed to go past 1.
I wonder what you're going to do next. You're so full of ideas, and I love that.
But I guess we don't have time to talk about things before the princess advances. Okay.
아직
Whatever we do
살아있는
gets us
건가?
another us. Let's see how many we can stack. There's got to be a point where it makes us better
우리를
than
더
her.
늘리는 거야? 그러면 몇 번을 죽으라는
As long
거야?
as we keep moving.
Oh, great. So it's going to get even more crowded. Even more deluded voices that
아우, 절망.
Come on, show me something new.
새로운 거. 반격한다.
Okay.
아니야.
Plan.
좀
Now.
특별한 거. 물론 싸워야지? 이거 아니야. 대화 아니야. 유혹? 유혹 그나마 특별한데. 패닉한다. 이거 아니야. 우리를 아프게 하지 못해. 그냥 죽을 것 같은데 이거는. 우리가 먼저 우리를 죽이는 거야? 유혹해. 아니 뭐 다 효과 없는 거 아니야 이거? 유혹도 안 되는데?
Compliment her on those gleaming blades. There's nothing better than a capable woman.
홀린 자의 목소리는 뭐야?
Skewers you.
You're cute.
Well, there's more of us. Let's see if that helps. We just have to hit her harder.
She skewers you.
You'll have to be trickier than that.
Then you skewer yourself.
I thought we both understood that dying doesn't get you anywhere.
Huh. That didn't do much of anything. We're tougher than I
뭐야
thought.
그냥
Just
아까 그
panic.
선택지에 있는 거 선택지에 있는 거 다 하는가 본데?
She skewers you.
No, you don't get to escape. That's not how this works.
그냥 뭘 해도 죽는 거 같은데?
It doesn't matter how many times this takes. We can't give up.
Okay, let's go again. She's going to kill this body either way. So stop feeling what it feels. She skewers you.
Ooh, not bad. Real tough.
See? We're getting
감각을
better.
못 느끼는 게 가능한가 근데?
Okay, yeah.
마지막은
That was a
유혹
good one.
유혹 안 해봤잖아 우리.
Let's appeal to her better nature. We haven't tried that.
이거는 대화하는 건데.
I'm sure she'll listen to reason.
대화가 통하겠냐고 이 눈을 봐 너무 즐거워 보이는데.
We're getting close to something, can't you feel it? One last time.
You're right.
One last time, that's all we need. And then everything goes dark, and you die.
진짜 죽었다. 챕터 4 상호 확증 파괴.
Your Honor, don't lose your head. We're in a cabin, and we'll take it from here.
이번에 칼도 없는데?
Everything feels like it finally fits, doesn't it? We're up here, which is
어,
different.
뭐야, 손에 있다고?
And different is good.
아니
Nasty
단검으로 못
claw is
죽이는데?
already
이거?
in our hand.
공주 너무 센데?
Ho! What if we throw it out the window?
Over my dead body.
That won't be very hard. We've died a lot.
더 죽는다고
I can't
신경 안
say I
써.
mind anymore.
Besides, what better way to die so very many times than at the sharp hands of a beautiful...
와, 얘는 공주한테 홀린 거야?
Sure, I can think of a better way to die. They're all the same, really. How about we stop thinking about horrible ways to die? I don't want us to accidentally manifest anything. The only thing we're gonna manifest
와,
is
목소리가 몇
finally
개야,
ending
이거.
up on top. There are
머리
entirely
터지겠다.
too many of you. How many times have you been here? This isn't good. This is... How about you stick to describing things, and we'll stick to doing them? Yeah, leave it to the pros. We'll notch up that win in no time.
프로였으면 이겼겠지.
Narrator, we heroically stride through the door and towards our destined final encounter with our star-crossed lover. Fine by me. You walk to the door and onto the basement stairs, only it's more of a slide. We know. Fine, I'll just shut up then and speed this whole thing along.
닥치고 있죠?
Are you sure you don't want me to describe the stairs, or this room, or anything? It feels like I'm hardly a part of this. Don't care, just want to win. Fine, you make your way to
아,
the basement,
이거는
where
이제
the princess
자유로운
awaits you.
상태로 있는데 그냥 뭐 구속돼 있지도 않은데.
You know, this last time I killed you, and you didn't pop right back up again?
곧바로 다시 되살아나지 않았잖아?
I thought I'd actually done it. I thought I'd cut you into so many pieces you just weren't able to stitch yourself back together. But I guess we're not done. That's okay with me. It's good even. I like that. I got something ready for you while you were gone. Do you want to see? I'm not going to wait for an answer. I'm just going to show you. It's worth it though. Just you wait.
아니,
And
뭘
not for very
보여주려고
long,
그러는
because
거지?
I'm going to do it right now.
뚜뚜뚜.
Are you gonna say what she does?
그러니까
Do you want me to
야,
do
이런 건 설명해줘야지. 처음 보는 건데.
Well, yeah, she says she has something new. I want to hear about the new thing. Yeah, me too. I think I speak for all of us when I say that I would like to hear you describe her new thing. Really? Okay then.
Here we go. Now.
간다고? 아니, 오지 마세요.
The princess's skin
Oh,
twists,
shit.
splitting
뭐야?
into red blooms of raw meat as it stretches and tears. And then it erupts. She becomes a wave of blood and viscera, pieces of
Oh,
her
뭐야, 이게?
splattering against the walls. All that remains in the center of the room is a skeleton of blades. A heart beats furiously in its cage of a chest.
요것만 찌르면은 될 것 같은데. 외계인이었나봐. 얘도
Are you
괴생명체인가봐.
ready for what comes next?
몸이 그냥 칼로 돼 있나 본데.
Holy shit! She's gorgeous. Absolutely divine. Yes, behold the perfect woman. Do you think we can throw her
어떻게
out the
잡는데?
window?
창문도 없는데.
That looked painful. How is she still alive? Heart's still beating, that's all she needs. This is fake. This is all fake. That's all just made up. She doesn't even have a back anymore. How are we supposed to stab her in it?
This is all just a sick joke. I hate existing.
We're screwed. I quit. I'm done. Forget it.
This
All right,
is all
sir.
just
오, 씨. 말 개많아.
Forget. What just happened? It's so
어?
quiet.
뭐야? 정신을 비웠어. 또 맵도 바뀌었다. 그도 비운다?
Something feels different about you. It almost makes me feel different.
얘도
Like I should actually take
비운다?
this seriously for once.
얘도 비우면은 안 되는데? 그럼 난 오? 갑자기 나 각성이 있는데? 뭐야?
You're incredible.
둘의 무기는 계속 맞부딪힌다. 당신과 그녀는 자신조차 있고 건무에 몸을 맡긴다? 마치 춘강 같은 거부만이 존재한다. 파도처럼 앞뒤로 밀리고 밀어붙인다. 아니 갑자기 검신이 돼버렸어? 당신의 검문에 빠져드는 만큼 심장은 더 빠르게 뛰고 전투의 양상 또한 빨라진다. 아니 여기서 갑자기 검에 대해 깨달아버렸어. 끝없이 동작이 쌓여나가 한순간 빈틈이 생긴다. 아니 단검이 사실은 에고를 가진 거였어? 자의를 가진 듯한 움직이고 그녀의 칼도 마찬가지다. 뭐야? 워터 앤드 뭐? 양쪽의 공격이 모두 치명적이다. 둘 모두 살아남지 못할 것이다. 이것은 해피엔딩이다? 나도 당했나 본데? 뭐야 사라졌어. 당신은 둘의 죽음을 보지 못한다. 무언가가 그녀를 데려가고 그 자리에 무언가를 남겨두었다. 또 거울이야? 거울에 뭐 있나 본데? 당신은 그렇게 한다. 거울에 비친 자신을 바라본다. 당신이 유리에 손을 대자 침묵이 내린다. 안에 무엇이 들었는지 확인할 시간이다. 뭐야? The body? It's you? 당신이다. 당신은 텅 빈 공간에 혼자 서있다. 고요하다. 뭐야 오두막에 간다? 또 뭐야 당신 오두막에 있다. 그녀에게 다가간다.
Something finds me in the long quiet and brings me the gift of a fragile vessel.
얘는 또 목소리가 다른데? 착한 부분인가 이거는? 네가 공주야? 우리는 서로 아는 사이야? 엔티티? 스스로의 몸을 파괴한다? 너는 뭐지?
I am solitary lights in an empty city.
고요한 도시의 고독한
What are
빛?
you?
고독한 빛? 무슨 뜻이야?
Thoughts without connections. A dim and nascent network. I wish to be
갓
more.
태어난 희미한 집합체? 넌 내가 뭐라고 생각해?
I think that you are like me.
아니 비슷하다고 생각한다고?
We are oceans, reduced to shallow creeks.
본래 대양이었으나 얕은 개울이 되어버린 존재? 연약한 그릇?
Yes, nerves and fibers to feel the worlds beyond, perspectives to make my own. This one is sharp and single-minded. She is cruelty,
정복할
but
수
she is
없는
also
신분?
joy. She will make for an indomitable heart. Do not mourn her. She is exactly where she needs to be.
우리는 서로 아는 사이야?
You are familiar, but you are not me. I feel sadness, longing, hope as I witness you.
이제 어떻게 되지? 네가 공주를 죽이라고 날 보낸 거야? 네가 날 여기 가둔 거야? 혹시 해설자에 대해 알아?
You are the only thing I have ever known.
해설자는 누구지 그럼?
The space we're in is vacant. Nothing comes here but us.
바깥의 세상에 대해 알아?
I know only that they are.
네가 공주야?
She is part of me, and part of me
뭐야?
is her.
그녀는 저의 일부분이고 저 또한 그녀의 일부분이다? 네가 처음부터 공주였다는 거야? 아니면 공주를 네 일부분으로 만들고 있다는 거야?
You speak in circles. Does it matter where one thing begins and another ends?
그녀를 풀어줘?
I'm sorry. There are some changes that can never be undone. There are some tears that can never be unshed.
뭐였지?
This is
원래
not a place that
공주였는데
can hold
뭐
a fragment
어디에
of a
잡힌
concept. The moment she
잡힌 건가
arrived
어디에?
here, she was going to return to me. I promise that it doesn't hurt.
이제 어떻게 되지?
Nothing, as we are. But I know that there are worlds beyond us, and that we are meant to reach them. There is no exit, but this vessel is a creature of perception. She can make you forget, if only you believe her to be able to. Bring me more perspectives, so that I may be whole. And
뭐야, 더
perhaps
많은
then
그릇을
we
가져와
know
주세요?
our freedom.
공주를 죽이면 그릇을 얻게 되는 건가? 네 조각들을 얼마나 더 찾아야지?
More than you have found, but less than there are to find. I am infinite. The rest will find their own way home.
내가 널 도우면 넌 세상을 파괴할 거야?
You ask of things that cannot be done. To destroy is merely to reshape, to remold.
널 도우면 어떤 걸 할 생각이지?
How can I know? I am flickers in something sprawling and unilluminated.
내가 허락하지 않겠다면?
Then we will be here forever, as we are now.
뭐야,
Unfinished,
허락해야지 나갈 수 있어
dry,
여기서?
hollow.
기다린다도 있는데? 내가 널 죽일 방법을 찾을까봐 두렵지 않아?
I have not lived. I am not afraid to die.
그래, 있게
She
해줘.
asks that I tell you to remember her.
자신을 기억해달라고? 겁모했던 여자를 기억해달라고?
You won't.
모든 것이 어두워지고 당신은 죽는다. 뭐야, 이 짓을 여러 번 해야 된다는 거야?
You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path is a cabin.
갑자기 건너뛰기가 생겼는데 이거 봤던 거라서 건너뛰기 해야 되나? 이번에 뭘로 하지? 이번에 그 침묵 컨셉 해봤고 다음은 뭐 하지? 군주의 목을 치러 갈까? 혁명 만세? 내가 세상이 끝장난다 해도 이건 말고 안 할래. 다른 사람 너무 심하지 않아? 애초에 공주를 가둬놓았기 때문에 공주가 세상을 끝장내려 하는 거 아니야?
While I appreciate the mental exercise we are running up
대답 안
against
해주네.
a bit of a ticking clock. Nevertheless, let me assure you, the princess is locked up because she's dangerous. She is not dangerous because she's locked up. And before you decide to waste even more of our time by asking how I know that, let me suggest a more pragmatic lens through which to view this situation. Causality doesn't matter here, because the end result is the same no matter what led us up to this point. It's no use arguing semantics over a metaphorical chicken or egg, because the egg is hatched and it's about to ruin everything.
공주는 지금 어디 아픈 것 같아.
You do your
어떻게
job
하면은
and
딱
slay
그
her.
공주인 부분만 살려낼 수 없나? 좋았어. 군주의 목을 치러 가볼까? 혁명 만세. 그렇군. 설명해줘서 고마워.
Don't mention it. It's all part of the job. You make your way up the short path to the cabin. You'll find the princess within. A warning before you go any further. She will
이거 봤던
lie.
거고. 이번에는 죽이지 말까?
The interior of the cabin is almost entirely bare.
당근 가져가.
You take the blade from the table. The door to the basement.
그냥 괜찮은지 보러 왔어. 안녕.
Don't be a stranger. It's been so long since I've had any visitors. Come on down.
You walk down the stairs and lock eyes with the princess. There's a heavy chain around her wrist, binding her to the far wall
죽일
of the
거냐?
basement.
아직 결정하지 않았어.
How about you drop the knife and the two of us just talk?
Look how reasonable she's being. We should just drop the blade and talk things out. Don't you dare. It's fine. We can decide what we want to do after we talk to her. Maybe she really is a monster. But killing someone in cold blood isn't very becoming of us.
떨어뜨린다? 쥔다? 대화하자 우리.
The blade tumbles out of your trembling hands and drops to the floor with an unceremonious clang.
Thank you.
Against your better judgment, you step forward to speak with the princess face to face.
눈이 되게 크시네.
We'll be fine. I don't know what you're hoping
제발,
to
이번엔
accomplish here,
좀
but I
안
can assure
죽였으면
you there's
좋겠는데.
no reasoning with her.
됐다. 나중에 죽을 수 있나 봐.
Just make sure you don't forget about the blade on the floor. You're going to need it.
So here we are. What an awkward start to a relationship.
날 유혹하는 거야? 네가 세상을 멸망시키라는 걸 거라는 사람들이 있는데 거기에 대해 할 말 있어? 여기 얼마나 오래 있었지? 내가 왜 널 죽이러 온 건지 알아? 여기 얼마나 오래 있었? 이름이 뭐지?
She hesitates before answering.
와, 이름이 여러 개인가?
You can address me as Your Royal Highness, or Her Majesty. Any honorific should do, really.
Note the lack of detail. You can't trust her.
그래 참 어색하고.
I know. I just said that. Now why are you here to kill me?
나름의 이유가 있지. 혹시 왜 내가 널 죽여야 하는지 알아? 네가 세상을 멸망시킬 거라고 들었어.
Don't just tell her that.
알려줘. 호감을 얻어
Is
일단.
that why they threw me down here? But I don't want to hurt anyone. I love the
아마도
world.
아마도 나오는 거
I think.
보면은 이거 거짓말이야.
I don't remember much about it, to be honest. I've been down here a long time.
Just how long has she been down here?
If I'm supposed to be capable of ending the world, then how did I wind up here, chained to a wall? Have they told you why I'm allegedly so
그것도 맞긴 해.
dangerous?
그 진작 이거 또 풀고 나왔겠지. 충분히 들었다. 네가 알려줄 거라 생각했는데? 아니야, 하지만 알려주지 않은 이유가 있겠지. 솔직히 말하자면 널 믿는 쪽으로 마음이 기울고 있어. 오... 들은 거라도 있냐고? 네가 알려줄 거라 생각했는데?
Ending the world seems like an awful lot for just one person to do. I wouldn't even know where to start.
I believe her.
뭐야, 갑자기 믿는다고?
She doesn't have to know how to destroy the world to be capable of doing it.
At the end of the day, whatever the two of us have going on down here is about trust. Whoever sent you to slay me claimed I was a threat to the world, but they didn't tell you why.
그것도 맞긴 해. 이유를
That
안
doesn't sound
가르쳐줘.
right to me. And I don't think it sounds right to you either. Otherwise, we'd be killing each other instead of talking.
She has a point. There's a reason I've been telling you to question the situation, and there's a reason you've listened.
So, I could tell you that I'd lead a quiet life in the woods, or that I'd open an orphanage, or that I'd do
굳이
any
착한
other number
계획들을?
of good things that I'm sure you think you want to hear. But you don't really know me, do you? What can my word possibly
굳이
be worth in a
착한이라는 얘기를 꺼낸 거
situation
보면
like
이거.
this?
허허.
She's right about one thing. Her word isn't worth anything.
Like I said, it's all about trust. Blind trust. So do you trust me, the prisoner, the victim, the princess clearly incapable of ending the world? Or do you trust whoever put me here?
She's wrong. This isn't about trust. This
위험에
is
대한
about
얘기라고?
risk. We stand to lose everything,
한 명의
all for the
목숨.
sake of one person, and a subjugating monarch no less.
대화는 이제 충분해.
Oh, have you decided what to do with me?
You know why you're here.
죽인다. 나갈 수 있게 도와준다. 가둬둔다. 어떻게 할지 결정하기 전까지는. 이게 공주를 죽이는 게임인데. 이번에는 나갈 수 있게 한번
You
도와줄까?
have to be kidding me.
한 번만 믿어볼까?
You walk up to the chains binding the princess to the wall and give them a tug.
이번 표정은 꽤 나쁘지 않아.
They're large and heavy,
뽑고
far too
그런 건
solid for
아니야.
you to even imagine trying to break them apart.
I'm guessing you don't have the key.
Maybe it's somewhere upstairs. Doubtful. Whoever locked the princess away down here intended for her to never see the light of day. They wouldn't have just left the key to her chains somewhere in the cabin.
다른 좋은 생각 있어?
Well, you do have that big, sharp knife. You
와,
could always
또?
cut me out of here.
또 잘라.
She speaks with almost complete nonchalance.
아니,
If we were stuck down here for long enough, I'm sure we'd be nonchalant about cutting our way out. Anything to finally be free. You attempt to make your way out of the basement, but the door at the top of the stairs slams
Well.
shut. You hear the click of a lock sliding into place. Is someone else here?
잠겼어. 아, 그냥 내려가.
You make your way back to the bottom of the stairs. This would have been so much easier if you'd simply slain her like you were supposed to.
죽여야 문 열어주나 본데?
Easier for whom? Easier for everyone.
I heard the door slam. They locked you down here too, didn't they? The knife. Pick it up and cut me out of here.
You won't like what happens if you do that.
여기서 죽인다? 아니야. 구해줘.
Against
Oh.
your better judgment, you place the blade against the princess's arm, just above the massive you cut into her flesh. The blade is sharp and you make quick
왜
work
이렇게
of it.
덤덤해 얘는 또.
Before long, you're able to crack through bone, and she pulls the bleeding stub of her arm through the iron gauntlet. She didn't so much as utter a sound.
고통을
Free
못
from her
느끼는
bindings,
건가?
the princess turns to face you, her fierce gaze meeting your eye. How is she so composed after losing an arm?
너 구해줬으니까
She's not
나
even
살려주는
bothered
거지?
Thank you. Now let's get out of here.
나가자.
No, we won't have any of that. The stakes are too high. You can't
혹시
just let her
얘는
escape into the
착한
world.
공주가 아닐까? 착한 이면이
I
있는 공주가
just
아닐까?
can't let her escape into the world. As the princess approaches the bottom stair, your body steps
아니, 난
forward
이럴
and
생각
raises the
없었다고.
blade. Wait, this isn't fair. You can't just do that. Watch me.
죽인다밖에 없는데? 어? 경고한다? 경고한다.
Stop that.
단 한 개만 이상한 거야. 한번 해봐.
I thought this was a little too easy.
Your body lunges forward to sink the blade into her back, but the princess swiftly moves out of the way before you can connect.
어? 나 경고했는데?
Stop it. Stop resisting me. I'm trying to get you out of here alive.
저항한다.
The blade. Move the blade.
아니야. 이쪽 공주는 왠지 마음에 들어.
You're doing your best to help me, aren't you? I can see the conflict in your eyes. I'll make this quick.
아 제발 죽이지 마. 죽이는 건 아니야.
She steps forward and pries the blade from your rigid hands.
그래 그냥 단 것만 뺏으면 안 되냐?
Maybe I'll see you in another life.
아, 왜 죽이는 건데? 어,
And then she slits your throat with an almost clinical ease. Her face remains unchanged as she watches you collapse to the ground, blood
아니 내가
flowing
그렇게
from your
살려줬는데
butchered
죽이는 게
neck.
어딨어?
This is the end, isn't it? I'm afraid it is. Everything goes dark, and you die. I hope it was worth it.
죄수? 챕터 2 죄수.
You're on a path in the
어?
woods,
건너뛰기 안 되는데
and
이거.
at the end of that path, you're here to.
이 개자식 이제 알겠다. 네 속임수는 더 이상 소용없어.
By tricks? What on earth are you talking about? We've just met for the first time. Don't forget what he did to us the last time around.
어?
I wouldn't
의심의
trust a
목소리?
word out of his mouth. There's got to be a way out of here, for us and for the princess. We just have to keep trying. I'm inclined to agree. If he doesn't remember what happened last time, maybe it's best to keep it that way. You know I can hear you two, right? It's going to be a lot harder than you think to keep secrets from me. And as far as trying to help her goes, need I remind you how catastrophically dangerous she is to the...
내 말대로 이 모든 일이 이미 일어났던 일이라고 치자. 왜 내가 네 말을 들어야 하지? 이 모든 일에 의미가 있냔 말이야.
Those are two very different questions, but fine, I'll indulge you if that's what it takes to get you moving. Let's say for a moment that this really is the second time you've met me. You died last time, which probably
이거 봤던
absolute
건데?
irony. Well, that's one way to put it, I guess. You really don't remember what happened last time, do you? You practically forced the princess to kill us. That doesn't sound like the sort of thing I'd do, which is honestly all the more reason for you to not buy into whatever self-delusions the three of you are crafting. But this is a thought experiment, so I suppose I'll continue to give you the benefit of the doubt. If I did practically force the princess to kill you, it was probably for a good reason. Did you try and free her? Did you say something really mean to me? Because if I really did what you said I did, you probably deserved it. Sure you are. Anyway, I believe your second question was, what's the point of doing anything? If you're asking that, it sounds to me like you're making the rather dangerous assumption that your actions last time around didn't... What do you mean? Of course there weren't any consequences. You forced the princess to kill us and now everyone's right back where they started. That sounds pretty consequence-free to me. Yes, but in this purely hypothetical scenario, that begs the question of how you got back here. If it's the latter, what do you think the people there
이런
lived
거는 이제
happily ever
봤던
after?
건데 다들 행복하게
Or do you think that
살았답니다.
the princess, left unhindered, brought about the end to everyone and everything, just like I told you she would? What a conveniently ambiguous group of things for her.
근데 내가 살고 죽일 수
For all
있는
we know,
방법이
the princess
있나?
left the cabin and never saw another soul. Oh, how I wish that were the case, but if the princess weren't a certain, inevitable threat to the world, the four of us wouldn't be here. You're talking in circles. No, I'm talking in facts.
공주에 대해
Just be quick
이야기해보자.
about it.
공주가 날 죽일 수 있었던 건 내가 놔뒀기 때문이고 공주가 한 일이라고 내가 목을 그은 것뿐이야. 그런 사람이 어떻게 세상을 멸망시키는 거야?
She just can.
이것도
You
봤던
haven't given
건가
us an
그러면?
ounce of what proof could you literally any?
어?
Fine.
다른
Check your
건데?
pockets.
주머니를 뒤져본다.
You put your hands in your
증거
pockets
봉투
and
뭔데,
pull out
이거?
an envelope with the words "the evidence" written across the front.
와 이것도 번역을 했구나.
Within,
당신이 막지
you
못한
find a note
공주는
in
이
your
세상을
handwriting.
끝장낼 것입니다. 이것은
It
불변의
reads,
진실.
The princess will end the world if you don't stop her. This is an immutable
내
truth.
필기체라고? 근데 이것도 조정해서 쓴 거면 어떡해?
That doesn't prove anything. How do we know you didn't just forge our handwriting? I wish I could tell you more, but there are some rules I have to follow for all our sakes.
그럴
Please
만한
just
이유가
trust
있다고?
that these rules
규칙이
are in place
그렇다?
for a reason. I'm on your side. You mean you're on our side as long as we do what you tell us to? Exactly. Because you not doing what I tell you to do means you're putting the world at risk.
진짠가?
I think we've
죽여야
got
되나?
everything out of him we're gonna get. Great. Now, if you don't mind, the whole world is waiting with bated breath for you to save it from ruin.
떠난다는 뭘까?
A warning before you go any further. She will lie, she will cheat. Yeah. Did you just say wink out loud? No, I didn't. Wink.
윙크.
Just ignore this clown and focus on the princess. The interior of the cabin is less a cozy woodland retreat and more
지하
like a
감옥에
dungeon.
가깝다.
A few pathetic wisps of starlight attempt to illuminate the cold, uninviting stone walls,
거울
and
있는데?
thick, wrought iron bars barricade the windows, reminding anyone who enters that this is a prison. The only furniture of note is an iron table, bolted to the floor, a pristine blade perched on its edge. The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you want to do this right.
거울에 다가간다? 지난번과 다르다. 다시 한번 거울에?
You walk up to the wall next to the basement door. It's a wall. There isn't much to see here. What are you talking about? This isn't a wall. It's a mirror. Or at least it'll be a mirror once we wipe off that
얘네는
layer of
거울이 왜
grime.
안 보이지? 해설자들은?
You
또
reach
없어.
forward and rub your... But there was a mirror, and now it's gone. If he doesn't want us to know about it, it must be important. We should keep our eyes peeled. Maybe it'll be back.
다시 가져가.
You take the blade from the table. It will be difficult to slay the princess and save the world without a weapon. Good idea. Much better to be armed than to go in with blind hope.
아닌가? 그냥 갔어야 됐나? 또 들고 오면은
The door to the basement creaks
모르겠다.
open, revealing an old stone staircase. A few sputtering torches attempt to vaguely illuminate your path, dancing across glimmering patches of slime. Her voice, harsh but controlled, carries up the stairs.
Is that a visitor I hear? Please, come downstairs.
Does she remember us? You walk down the stairs and lock eyes with the
또
princess.
다른데?
She looks
옷도
up at
다른데?
you,
뭐지?
the heavy collar around her neck clanking loudly as she moves. The chains binding both her wrists to the far wall, joining the metallic chorus as she adjusts her hands in her lap. So much for cutting her out of here. Do you hear yourself right now? Cutting her out of here never should have been on the table.
그러네. 목에도 해가지고 이제 신체를 못 자르네.
Have you noticed the empty chain on the wall? Odd that in a place where everything seems to serve a distinct purpose, there would be something so obviously useless. That was there last time too, wasn't it? It was.
What an interesting development. Why don't you have a seat? The two of us should chat before you bury that thing in my heart.
놔둔다? 앞에 앉아봐 일단.
You step towards the princess, but she stops you before you get too close, holding up one shackled hand.
There's fine. I'd prefer we keep some distance until we've sorted this out.
좀 아까랑 분위기가 다른데?
That's reasonable. We do have a weapon. Might as well put her at ease.
그래, 앉아.
You do as she asks and sit on the floor, still a good distance away from her.
Thank you. Now, what are your intentions for me?
난 여기 온 적이 있어. 그건 나만 기억하는 거야? 내가 죽은 뒤로 무슨 일이 있었지? 벽에 걸려있는 저 빈 족쇄는 누굴 위한 거지?
I don't know, but you could always try it on.
내 건가 이거? 내 몸을 채워야
Maybe it'll
되나?
fit.
I hope I don't actually have to say this, but please don't lock yourself in chains. We need you ambulatory if you're going to save the world.
족쇄를 살펴본다. 아까 내 의도에 대해 물었지 무슨 뜻이야?
Yes, your intentions. You have a knife.
그야
What are you going to do with
널
it?
구하기 위해.
Why are you here? There isn't a keyhole in these shackles, so I'm afraid my only way out is surgical removal.
와 이거는 뭐 영영 못 구해주나 본데?
Is she forgetting about the shackle on her neck?
Or does she think she'd survive a beheading?
You're right. Maybe she's delusional. All the more reason not to trust her.
Unless she really could survive.
Though I suppose you could just be here to kill me. But I don't think that's in either of our best interests.
내가 뭘 해주길 원하지? 목에도 족쇄가 걸려있는데 내가 뭐 어떻게 해야 잘라서 풀어줄 수 있다는 거지?
No, no. Like I trust you to come any closer with that knife. All you're going to do is hand it to me and watch me work.
개 징그러울 것 같은데 알아서 할
But
거면?
she would have to cut her head off, right? She can't be suggesting that.
She certainly seems confident. Maybe she knows something we don't.
우리를 떠보는
Or
건가?
maybe you should consider the most likely scenario. She's bluffing so she can disarm you.
Though if she isn't bluffing, whatever she has planned might be for her benefit alone. There's no guarantee that what's good for her is good for us.
So, what should we do?
I don't know. I'm just spelling out our options, listing the pros and cons.
Then let me help you. I'll start with the cons. If you're handing her your weapon, the cons are that she might use it to escape and end the entire world. And she might use it to kill you. That doesn't sound great. What about the pros? There are none.
장점
The
없다고?
pros are that we can't trust him, possibly even more than we can't trust her. And whatever she has planned could do something to
공주보다도
mess
믿을
with
수
what
없다.
he has planned.
어쩌면 우리 둘 다
Or
우리를
maybe they're
속이고 있는
both
걸지
screwing us over
모르겠군.
in their own ways.
오, 맞는 말이야. 일리 있어. 일리 있어. 내가 널 풀어주는 거지. 널 무기를 넘길 생각 없어. 믿겠어. 나가고 싶어? 그럼 무기를 다루는 건 나야. 와, 내 손으로 잘라서 풀어준다? 족쇄. 족쇄로는 뭘 할 수 없을 것 같은데? 좋아, 널 믿겠어.
Slide it over.
No, absolutely not. I am not letting you hand your only weapon over to the world-ending princess. Until you come up with any other idea.
더 좋은 생각이 날 때까지
say, I
굳은
don't
채로
know,
가만히 있습니다.
doing your job and
아니,
slaying
답정너가
her,
돼버렸잖아.
you remain rigidly in place.
아니, 지금 스타일
Do you think
괜찮은데.
this will work? Interesting that you're only having us remain in place. It's almost like there are very real limits
뭔가
to your
착한
power.
내면의 그 공주 같은데 지금은?
I don't know what you're talking about.
The world ends if we fail, right? Her killing us might not be our only
이게
failure state.
멸망시키는
if you
공주가
catch my
있고
meaning.
아닌 공주가 있는 거 아닐까 사실은?
I don't know where you're going with this. Could you explain? Yes, explain it.
Sure. I'm insinuating that we could kill ourselves. Ruin this whole thing.
You wouldn't.
I'm not afraid of dying. Are you?
A little. You got your point across. Fine.
오!
You slide the blade across the floor. The princess maintains unsettling eye
아니,
contact
이게
as she reaches down to pick it up.
어떻게 이걸 나오려나?
Thanks.
She pulls up her hair, smiling slightly
그러지
as she
마요.
raises the blade to her throat. What is she doing? She doesn't say another word as she cuts into her own neck.
아니,
No. Her eyes stare forward, unblinking, as she saws through skin. I'll be damned. She's actually doing your job for you, huh?
So that's her play.
Killing herself?
She isn't dead yet.
Finally, you hear a snap. Her eye twitches. There's an uneasy silence.
뭐야?
She remains motionless
아니,
for a long moment, her twitching
아니,
eye
족쇄를
the
봤어야
only
했나,
movement in the
이거?
room, until at last it stops in an unsettling half wink. Her head twists slowly to the side, flopping to her shoulder and her neck. The remaining tissue is not enough to hold the weight of her severed head. It stretches and tears until finally... Oh no, oh no, oh no, what did we do? Can we put it back?
그래,
Please
다시
tell the
붙여 그냥.
princess's
붙여고
eyes stare
살아있다고
up.
해줘.
Dead.
Are you sure she's not winking at us?
Obviously not. She is thoroughly deceased. I hate this. Can we just get out of here now, please? Of course, the princess is slain and the world is saved. Whenever you're ready, you can proceed to your reward.
We should take her with us.
What? No, you shouldn't do that. Why?
I can think of lots of reasons. A trophy, proof of our victory. Hell, we could even give her a proper burial.
You don't need proof. You don't need a trophy, and she doesn't deserve a burial. Just leave.
Even after all that, you're still not satisfied, are you? Something is still motivating you
만족하지
to keep
못했다고?
things the way you want.
I'm just eager to
뭘
put this
더
all
더
behind
해줘야
us
돼?
and give you your reward. Stop reading into things. The danger has passed.
I'm just keeping myself sharp. I'm not so eager to put my guard down.
I am. I'm on team, let's put this all behind us, so can we leave already?
그래, 빨리 나가자. 공주를 가져간다? 가자.
Ugh, fine. You pick up the princess's severed head, its neck stump still oozing bodily fluids. Then make your way back
어떻게
upstairs to the first
갑자기
floor of
부활하지 않을까? 얼굴만 있으면?
Did you see that? I could have
그러게
sworn she moved.
눈이 좀 움직인 것 같은데? 너 원래 눈 이랬나?
She didn't. She's dead. But what if she's not? Are you listening to yourself? Do I need to explain to you why decapitation is lethal?
야, 그래도 날 죽이겠어? 나 공주가 원하는 대로 다 들어줬는데.
is open it. You open the cabin door, ready to return to a world saved from certain doom. Only a world saved from certain doom isn't what you find. Instead, what you find is...
뭐야?
Wait, no, that's not right.
멸망으로부터 벗어난 세상이 아니라고?
Well played.
This is the end of the world, isn't it? I always thought I'd at least have time to explain myself before I had to watch it happen. It's already
얘 갑자기 말하다가 사라졌어.
over? Is he gone?
이게 왜 멸망한 세상이지?
But we're still here. Maybe it wasn't the end of the world after all. Maybe it was just the end of
그런가?
his.
저 녀석의 멸망? 해설자의 멸망인가?
Thanks for carrying me up here. I had to take it on faith that you would know what to do. I'm glad I was right to trust you.
네, 여왕님.
So,
그래서 어떻게
this is the outside.
몸은
Maybe it's just my lack of
몸은
body,
어떻게
but
이게
it's
어떻게
colder
생기죠?
than I expected.
오우씨 뭐야? 이거 그건데 그릇 떼는 건데? 아니 이게 끝이야?
She's gone. Where did she go? Should we try and find her? And there's that mirror again. Why is it here?
뭐야
Why
이
now?
챕터에서 이게 그릇이 돼? 하지만 넌 끝이 아니지.
What is that supposed to mean? Whatever awful thing I felt before, it feels so much worse now.
No, that can't be right. There has to be something more.
자신을 바라본다. The bro? Your grow? grow? 당신은 성장했다? 손이 뭔가 좀 더 이상해졌는데? 또 다시 정막에 와있다. 오두막에 간다. 뭐야, 또 달라졌어. 다가간다.
Flickering lights in empty
뭐야, 이거?
cityscapes become pockets of vitality and movement.
아까 그...
I am more
씨.
than I was before. Whenever you are ready, I will wipe your
근데
slate
이거 목소리
clean once
좋다.
again.
넌 저번과 같은 존재야? 얼마나 변했지?
Is a child the same as an infant? I am an unbroken pattern, but every vessel gives fresh perspectives and carves new avenues of expression. I am different, but I am the same.
이렇게 변하니 기분이 어때?
Eyes close in reflection.
반추가 뭐지?
Perspectives meld together, and the breadth of my experience stretches to new corners. There are contradictions, conflicts in my nature, and there are familiarities that bind everything together. It feels correct. This is what I need to be. This is the only path forward.
아, 모르겠다 아직까지도. 죽여야 되는지 살려야 되는지. 왜 이전과 똑같은 선택을 할 수 없지? 어? 그래? 안 해봤는데 난? 가장 친절하게 대해줬어. 그래, 이거는 맞는 말이야.
Why wouldn't I be kind to
고마워.
you?
이거는.
You are the only thing I know that isn't me.
근데 왜 처음에는 왜 친절하게 안 그랬어? 친절하게 그냥 죽였잖아. 이 그릇에 대해 어떻게 생각해?
This one is cold and cynical. She has protected herself when others could not. She will
스스로를
make a clever heart.
보호했다고? 영리한 심장이 되겠군요.
Do not mourn her. She doesn't need to be protected any longer.
다음에 어떤 그릇을 원하지?
Gifts aren't what someone tells you to bring them. My joy is in seeing what you choose. There are no wrong answers, and every perspective illuminates my shadows
잘못된
and
결정은
shares new
없다.
secrets.
그럼 어떤 방향으로 성장하고 싶은지에 대해 딱히 원하는 게 없는 거야?
My preference is for you to show me what you would like me to see. I cannot know the ways I wish to
생각하며
grow,
선택하는 거?
for I have yet to feel them. It is you who guides me down the thin trail of perspective and memory.
넌 나에 대해 어떻게 생각해? 난 네가 가져왔던 그릇들을 해쳤어. 그릇을 얼마나 더 가져와야 되지? 난 널 해치고 싶지 않아. 하지만 여정을 계속할수록 널 해치게 될 거라는 예감이 들어.
The vessels are shaped by memories of you, but their impulses are drawn to the edge of the long quiet. To them, you are a gate to something more, and any
야,
hurt
나한테
you
죽는
caused
거는
them is understood
자유를
as a
위한
fair
정당한
price for
희생?
freedom. But they are only thoughts and perspectives. They are not me. The wounds they've suffered carve texture around my heart. Without them, I would be as I was before.
죽어도 상관없다는 뜻인가?
I would be alone and without sensation. I could not feel the joy of having you by my side, for I would not know your absence.
그릇을 얼마나 더 가져와야 되지?
If I am to be an ocean, you have nurtured me into a pond. My waters are shallow and murky, and I yearn for more perspective. You will have your rest in due time. And I am sorry
머지
for
않아
the
안식을 얻게
burdens
될
I
거예요?
place on you.
한두 개 남았나? 이제? 가자.
I will long for your return, but it will give me time to reflect on
어떻게
what I
하면은 잘 만들 수 있을까? 지금 딱 지금만 이렇게 좀 착하게 좀 대해줬으면 좋겠다.
You're on a
저건
path
달성하는데 영어라서
towards,
뭔지 모르겠다.
and at the end
건너뛰자. 이거 봤던 거는 다 건너뛰어. 이번에는 내가 저번에 이 선택을 했으니까 이걸로 갈까? 아무리 그래도 공주를
does
죽이다니
it?
너무 심하지
Are you a
않아?
monarchist? Is slaying a princess that much worse than slaying a fisherman or a miller or a seamstress? If anything, slaying a princess
그럼
is
공주는
better
사회에
than
기여 안
slaying a
한다는 소린가?
seamstress. Seamstresses contribute something of value to society.
됐어. 난 안 할래.
Of course I haven't. Why would I even consider that? Nobody
멸망
wants
같은 거 아무도
the world
원하지
to end.
않는다고요? 멸망이 해설자 기준 멸망인가 이거? 해설자가 멸망하는
I
건가?
mean, maybe some people do.
해설자의 세계가?
Nihilists or very, very evil people, but surely you're not one of those, right?
조용히 오두막에 간다.
You make your way up the shore.
딱 같은 선택은 못 하는 것 같아. 같은 엔딩.
The interior of the cabin is
이번에는
almost
칼을
entirely
들고 가지
bare.
말까 그러면?
The air is stale and musty, and the floor and walls are painted.
그냥 가봐 이제. 칼 없이 가보자.
The door to the basement creaks open, revealing a staircase faintly illuminated. Her voice softly.
Hello? Is someone there?
어? 목소리 다른데?
It's
처음 들어보는
hypnotizing.
목소리인데?
It's the kind of voice you only have to hear once to remember it for the rest of your life.
Don't let it fool you. It's all part of the manipulation.
속임수?
You're playing a dangerous game by coming here unarmed.
구해주러 왔어. 구해주러
How many
왔어.
times do I have to tell you how dangerous letting her out of here would be before it
대사가
finally sinks
생겼어.
in?
구해주러 왔다고. 칼이 없어서 그런가?
Wait, really? You're here to rescue me? I was starting to think I'd be stuck down here forever.
이번에도 설마 착한 내면의
Come
공주인가?
downstairs. I want to see the face of my rescuer.
You walk down the stairs and lock eyes with the princess. There's a heavy chain around her wrist, binding her to the far wall of the basement.
She's beautiful. How could someone like this be of threat to anyone?
너무 대놓고
I
욕하는
am
것 같긴
begging you
한데.
to stay focused. There's a lot riding on you here.
Hi. I can't believe you're here. I've been waiting for something like this to happen forever. I hope you brought something to deal with these
아니
chains.
없어.
Don't do it. If she gets out
아무것도
of those
없는데?
chains, we're all one step
갑자기
closer to
주머니를
the end.
뒤졌는데 열쇠가? 잠깐 이야기 좀 하자.
Okay.
이름이 뭐지?
Oh.
또
She
망설이네.
pauses, carefully formulating
이름이
her
여러
words
개인가?
before she responds.
You can address me as Your Royal Highness.
공주님?
Or you can just call me Princess if Your Royal Highness is too formal.
Is Princess her name or her title? What if it's both?
공주는 씨.
Could you imagine being named Princess Princess?
이름이 공주겠냐고 씨. 어? 그런가? 공주가 이름인가?
Like I said, you can call me Princess if you'd
아니,
like.
이름을 왜 말하기 싫어하지?
I'm sorry, I've been down here so long, I guess I've just forgotten. I must have a name, though.
너무
Everyone has a
수상한데?
name.
Okay, that's weird.
오케이, 이상한데.
She hadn't even thought to pick a name for herself.
저 생각하지도 못한
Hopefully,
겁니다.
you're starting to see that she can't be trusted.
다시 올라갈 수 있나?
Go back upstairs, get the blade, and slay
한번
her
내려오면
before
문
it's
닫히는 것 같던데. 난 너에 대해서 아무것도 몰라. 그저 이유가 있으니까 여기 갇혀 있다는 것만 알아.
Of course I'm locked up down here for a reason. I don't actually know what that reason is, but you don't just stuff a princess in a basement and throw away the key without there being some sort of an explanation, right?
You have all the explanation you need. You should know better than to trust whatever she comes up with.
오히려 해설자가 이걸 부추겨서 죽이라는 거 아닐까? 일단은 여길 가둘 거야? 그럼 내가 널 어떻게 할지 결정하는 동안 서로에 대해 좀 더 알 수 있겠지. 공주를 계속 가둬둔다. 미안하지만 넌 믿을 수 없어. 네 앞뒤가 맞지 않는 이야기에 세상의 운명을 걸 수는 없어. 족쇄를 살펴본다. 나가게 해준다. 내가 이 결정을 후회하게 해주지마. 한 번만 더
You're only
믿어볼게.
making this more difficult.
착한 내면의 공주라고 믿어.
Thank you, and you won't. I promise.
이번에 배신하지 마.
You're making a huge
아,
mistake.
이거 죽여야 되나 이거? 공주를 죽이는 게임이라 했는데.
No, you're doing the right thing. You walk up to the chains binding the princess to the wall and give them a tug. They're large and heavy, far too solid for you to even imagine trying to break them apart.
I'm guessing you don't have the key?
Maybe
없어요.
it's somewhere upstairs. Doubtful. Whoever locked the princess away down here intended.
다른 좋은 생각 있어?
Maybe there's some way to break the chains?
이번에는 칼 없는데.
Or if that doesn't work, I guess we can always cut me out of them.
She offers the suggestion with almost complete. If we were stuck down here long enough, I'm sure we'd be nonchalant about cutting our way out. You attempted to make your way out of the basement, but there's someone else here.
이러면 어떻게 해? 다시 문
You try
열어볼까?
the door.
하지만 잠겼어. 내려가.
You make your way to the bottom of the stairs. This would have been so much easier if you'd just taken the
오케이, 이제
blade
단검
like
없는데
you were supposed
어떡하지?
to.
어떻게
Easier for
보여주지?
whom? Easier for everyone. Look at the mess.
누구에게 편한 건데?
I heard the door slam. They locked you down here too, didn't they?
네, 저도 갇혔어요. 저도
There's a
구해주세요.
slight panic rising in the princess's voice.
If I could just get out of these chains, I know we could force our way out of here together.
She barely hesitates before raising her arm to her mouth, her teeth tearing through her limb with the determination of a trapped wolf. As she rips her
왜
flesh from her
이러시는
bone,
거예요?
a sound comes from behind you, the clang of bouncing metal. It's the blade from upstairs. You're not sure how it made its way down here, but if there's a
아니
time to
갑자기
strike,
단검이
it's
나온다고
now.
여기서?
Or we could use it to free her. You won't like what happens if you do that.
뭐야, 공주를 구한다는 선택지밖에 없는데?
Fine.
죽이는 선택지가 없어졌어.
Against your better judgment,
Oh.
you place the blade against the ragged, self-inflicted
와,
wound on
이번엔-
the princess's
Oh.
arm, just above the unyielding chain binding
내가
her to
잘라,
this
이제?
place. You cut into her flesh. The blade is sharp,
어우, 씨,
and
몇
it
번을
takes little
자르는 거야,
effort to crack
공주를.
through the bone of her arm. Her limb falls to the ground, and the heavy chains follow suit. She didn't so much as utter a sound. No, she did. She smiles softly as her gaze meets yours.
아,
Blood from her
왜 이러냐
wounded
이거.
arm
왜
dripping
웃냐?
rhythmically to the
불안하게.
ground. How is she still smiling after everything?
야,
It's like she isn't even
구해줬으니까 나
bothered by
죽이지
what
마.
just happened.
Thank you. Now let's get out of here.
No, we won't have any of that. The stakes are too
아, 또
high.
이래? 또 이제 칼
Can't just let her
들고
escape
그거
into the
하겠네?
world.
공주를 죽인다?
No. As the princess approaches the bottom stair, your body steps forward and raises the blade.
아니, 다른 선택지 할 수 없다며. 그러면은 이번엔 죽여야 되는 거
This
아니야?
isn't fair. You can't just watch me.
What are you doing?
뭐야, 다르긴 해. 뭐 하는 거죠? 다시 경고해.
Stop that.
Something's come over you, hasn't it? You know you don't
아까랑
have to do
좀
this, right?
그림이 달라.
Your body lunges forward, the blade
아니, 왜
held low,
돌진해?
ready to sink into her heart. But the princess dodges, stumbling back against the wall
경고했는데.
before the blade has a chance to connect. Stop it. Stop trying to resist me. I'm trying to get you out of here
처음 보는
alive.
장면이야. 그리고 저항해.
The
저항.
blade. Move the
아 이러면 또
blade.
공주가 나 죽여주는 거 아니야?
As your body remains frozen in stubborn resistance, the princess takes a cautious step forward.
We both know this isn't you.
She nervously reaches towards you and takes the blade
이거
from
아까
your
봤던 장면인데.
infuriatingly rigid
나 또 죽을
hands.
것 같은데 이거?
What are you doing?
I'm sorry. I'll try to be quick.
She plunges it into your chest, tearing through flesh and sinew. It is agony.
뭐야? 하지만 당신 아직
You aren't
죽지
dead
않았습니다.
yet.
Oh no. I'm so sorry.
Stay strong. We can tough it out until it's done. For her sake. Don't you start pretending that dying a painful death is some sort of heroic gesture. The two of you have literally doomed everyone. Whatever. She sinks the blade into your chest again and again and again, and you feel every inch of
한
burning
번에
pain
못
that
죽여서 계속
slices its way
찌른다.
into your
이거
body.
일부러 그러는 거 아니야? 이거 이 정도면?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Oh.
I'm sorry.
She doesn't know how to use a knife, does she? Apparently not. Though it doesn't matter how sloppy her knife work is,
진짜
does
착한
it?
내면의
A
공주인가
stab wound
이거는?
is still a stab wound, and it won't be long before you bleed out.
울기까지 하는데?
I'm so sorry.
With one last thrust of the knife, your legs give out beneath you. You collapse to the floor, your blood pooling around you, your limbs unresponsive. The princess stares down at your ruined chest as tears carve rivulets of pink down her blood-spattered cheeks. It can't just end like this. Oh, that's rich coming from you. As much as I'd prefer for things to have gone differently, I can't deny the reality of what's happened. The two of you made your choice. Everything goes dark, and you die.
어? 소공룡? 챕터 달라졌다. 이거 또 처음 보는 챕터인데?
You're on a path in the woods. You're here to sleep.
그냥 아무 말도 하지 말고 가자.
A warning. She will. If only. Excuse me.
잠깐만.
Forget he said anything. But he is.
홀린자의 목소리?
He made
뭐야?
our beloved
이렇게 하니까 홀린자의
brutally
목소리가
take our
생겼어.
life last time. He's trying to keep us apart, but he won't be able to withstand the power of our love.
Last time? What are you talking about?
맨 처음에 했을
Sliced
때
with the sound of
홀린자의
his own
목소리가
voice.
있긴 했었는데.
Let's try to ignore him.
I do, but I also speak from the heart. My passions are too great to be stifled. They
공주에
must be
홀려버렸어.
expressed.
Sure, yeah, your passions are strong and all, but not everyone needs to hear them. Some things are better kept quiet. Don't pay their bickering any mind. Focus on the task ahead. The interior of the cabin
또
is
이번에
clean
또
and
처음 보는
elegant. Its stone
내부네.
walls draped in fine-threaded tapestries. A prison befitting a royal prisoner. The only furniture of note is an
왕실의
ornate
제수에
wooden
어울릴
table
법한
with a
감옥?
pristine
진짜
blade
공주인가?
perched on its edge.
지금 있는 공주가?
The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you want to do this right.
또 거울이 있다. 그냥 들어가. 거울 사라졌어.
The door to the basement creaks open, revealing an intricate stairwell. Gold-trimmed carpet glimmers in the light of the
당신을 반기는 것
torches positioned
같습니다.
along the walls. But it's still a stone basement.
If the princess lives here, slaying her is probably doing her a favor.
A soft voice carries up the stairs.
Hello? Is someone there?
Her voice. It's somehow even more beautiful than
미치겠다
last
이거.
time.
지난번보다도 더
I think
아름다워.
we're in love.
아 이거
Okay, I'm
너무
with you that we should
그런데
be
이거.
doing whatever we can to save her, but saying we're in love is a bit much, don't you think? We don't even know the princess. We can still do right by her without all this fawning. Yes, for everyone's sake, you're not in love. Just remember that her charms are all part of the
그런가 나 지금
manipulation.
속고 있는 건가?
You walk down the stairs and lock eyes with the princess. There's a heavy chain around her wrist, binding her to the far
또
wall.
뭔가 이게 앞머리가 원래 이렇게 있었나?
My love, we're here to rescue you
아,
from your
홀린 자의
unjust
목소리 이거
and foul
뭐하네.
imprisonment.
You know she can't hear you, right?
제가 저러니까
She
구하기
may not be
싫어지네.
able to hear my words, but surely she can hear my spirit.
Oh, your spirit's plenty loud, all right.
It's you, my dashing hero. I was so worried you
당신이
wouldn't come back.
돌아오지 않을까봐 걱정했어요?
Did you hear that? She said we're
날
dashing.
아는구나.
And she called us a hero. Flattery really goes a long way with the two of you, doesn't it? Waiting for you to come back. You've been here before, haven't you?
That's right, villain. And you killed us.
Well, she killed us.
Only because he made us try and kill her. It was self-defense. Our beloved's hands remain unstained by cruelty.
And you've died before. So an entire world has been damned to oblivion. I'd really hoped I'd be the first, but what's done is done. What matters is you have a chance to do it right this time. We damned a whole world.
내가 죽으면 사실 내가 죽으면 세상이 멸망하는 건가? 아닌데? 공주가 살면 멸망인데?
Nothing resets. You're just somewhere else. You can't keep hopping between worlds forever.
그저 다른 곳에
Especially
왔을
without leaving a
뿐이다.
trail of incomprehensible devastation behind you. This is horrible.
Horrible for you, maybe. But we've been given another opportunity to sweep her off her feet and treat her like the lady she is.
Now, hold on. If she actually ended a world, are you sure we want to do this?
We never saw a world end, and now I'm even more certain that we must chase our heroic and romantic destiny than I've ever been. I shan't let anyone convince us otherwise.
Are you listening to him? He's lost it. Don't let him distract you.
아니,
Just
저 목소리
do
때문에
your job.
구하기 싫어지냐 왜? 지난번에 날 죽였지. 엄청나게 아팠다고 왜 그랬지? 칼을 안 가져왔는데 또 잘라줘야 해? 내가 죽고 나서 무슨 일이 있었지? 그거 계속 있네 이런 질문에. 널 죽이라고 날 보내 해설자가 내 몸을 조종해서 아주 불공평했지. 그냥 닥치고 공주를 구한다? 물어봐. 혹시 세상을 멸망시켰어?
I don't know. Was I supposed to have ended the world? Would that have made you happy?
Isn't that just like our darling princess? She wants to make us happy.
Are you listening to her? That's a confession.
실토했잖아요? 헉. 아니 난 멸망은 원하지 않아.
Then I didn't end the world.
그렇다면 저는 세상을 멸망시키지 않았어요?
See? She didn't confess anything. She is innocence itself.
Not so sure.
내가 죽고 나서 무슨 일이 있었지?
You died, and now we're talking.
칼을 안 가져왔는데 또 잘라줘야 해?
I'm okay with whatever you come up with. You can cut my arm
아니
off again.
팔 자르는 거 말고 뭐 없나? 그냥 열쇠
We
같은 거.
won't be laying a finger on her
족쇄
perfect
그냥
wrists,
딱 풀 수
and
있는 거
indeed,
없나?
we won't even have to. Do you see how dainty her hands are? We'll be able to slip her right out with no harm done.
What? No, she's a prisoner here. You can't just slip her hand through the chains. Why are you two arguing
이번엔
over the
여기가 왜
logistics of
끊어져
slipping
있지,
her hand
족쇄가?
out of her shackles? She just said she'd be okay with any idea we came up with. Am I the only one here who thinks that's weird?
She didn't care last time. Why should she care this time? That's our stoic, smiling angel.
No, you're right. It's extremely bizarre behavior and further evidence that she's a monster who's not to be trusted. So go ahead and slay her.
근데 공주를 구한다는 선택지밖에 없는데? 뭐야 이거?
No, I can't let you do that. If you take another step towards the princess, You'll what? Take over our body and force us to try and kill her? I would if you had a weapon.
Not on my watch, villain. My passions contain titanic depths, and if you try
내 목숨인데 네가 왜
anything that might
끊어?
harm our dearest, I will end our life without a second thought.
우리의 목숨이 돼버렸네. 내
You
목숨인데.
wouldn't.
I would.
I'd listen to him if I were you. He has a lot of strong feelings. And doesn't the world end if we don't stop her? You approach the princess
뭐야?
and gingerly slide her hand from her bindings.
아니 이게 이렇게
Shouldn't have worked.
빠지네?
I'll be damned.
근데
We're doomed.
이때까지 보던 족쇄랑 좀 다르게 생기긴 했어.
I can't believe it. But I guess I have to.
I told you. There's no life more worth living than that of a true believer.
I'm free, and you're not trying to kill me this time. Thank you.
이번엔
Thank you
절
so
죽이려
much.
들지 않으시네요?
The princess jumps up and smothers you in a joyful embrace. Ugh.
아 이러면 곤란한데.
Only you had a weapon. One slip of the wrist and your pristine blade would be buried in her back, and everyone
가식
out there would
아니지.
be saved.
진심이지 이거.
Luckily for Mr. Romance, we don't have a weapon.
운 좋게도 우리에게 무기가 없고.
Who needs a weapon when we have the power of love on
네,
our
이렇게
side?
웃고 있는데 어떻게 죽이겠어?
What do we do now?
멸망만 시키지 말아줘. 이제 어쩌죠? 뭘 하고 싶어?
Let me guess. End the world?
에헤이 조용히 해.
Spoken with the rank
자, 일단
cynicism of someone
집으로
who has never
돌아갑시다.
felt love in his heart.
돌아가서 생각해 봅시다.
I don't actually know. Nobody's ever asked me what I wanted before.
당신 집이 있지 않겠소?
She doesn't
일단
even know
거기로
what she
가봅시다.
wants. You may have had her all wrong. What if this whole thing is just a misunderstanding? What if she doesn't want to end the world? You're so gullible. Is the only thing you've ever doubted the actual truth?
I think I want to leave. And I think
그리고
The princess closes her eyes in deep
설마 갑자기
reflection,
나를 죽이는 거?
and then she shrugs.
I don't know.
오
What do you wanna
다행이다.
do?
모르겠어요. 난 네가 원하는 거 알려주길 원해. 뭔가 원하는 게 있을 거 아니야? 세상의 멸망을 원해? 난 그냥 나가고 싶어. 나머지는 나중에 생각하면 돼. 나가고 싶다면 나가자. 그래, 나가자.
Sounds perfect.
The princess takes your hand, the last hopes of the entire
너 왜
world
이렇게 해맑은데?
slipping through your fingers as they intertwine with hers.
We have each other. We don't need the world for our happy ending.
I like to think that you do, actually. Look, I have my doubts, but the choice has been made and this is happening. You don't have... I will mope about it, because moping is the only recourse you love-blind fools have left me with. You and the princess walk up the stairs, hand in hand. Ugh, look at the way she's smiling at you. She doesn't have to be so happy about this.
아니 표정 봐. 싫어할 수 없는 표정이야.
And what happens after we walk up the stairs? Let's see.
어?
Isn't that interesting? The door slams
아
in your face
해설자야
and
왜
the lock
닫아버려?
clicks.
바로 앞인데.
That's a familiar move. Did I do that last time? Then you should know that you won't be able to leave.
그럼 이러면 또 둘 중에 한 명은 죽어야
Oh
된다는데?
no! Did someone lock us in here? That's not fair. We're supposed to leave now.
She's right. It isn't fair. But the unfairnesses of the world are no match for the strength of true love.
Enough with this true love nonsense. You just met her.
Of course you wouldn't understand. Our passions run deeper than anything you have ever known.
Are you listening to this? You don't have to go along with the every whim of that delusional voice.
I'm just along for the ride at
근데
this
어차피
point.
이제 죽일 수는 없는데. 내가 열 수 있을 거야. 함께 한다면 열 수 있을 거야. 우리 힘을 합쳐보자.
Yeah, let's do it.
너 힘 세잖아, 솔직히.
Like a pair of teenagers in love, you and the princess place your hands
손을
on the
포갠 채
door
문을 엽니다.
together.
이거 무조건 열릴 듯.
And
그리고 열렸습니다.
lock clicks and the door
이게 말이 돼?
open. Are you kidding?
이거 지금 힘 존나 주고 있다 지금. 우리
I told you our love was
우리
in
사랑에는
something
장애물이
little.
없다오.
You and the princess make your way upstairs.
Oh!
And the blade. That's right. There's still a chance for you to do the right thing. Take the blade from the table and slay
아,
her
또 내가
before
죽어야
it's
돼,
too
이거?
late.
또 해설자가 조종하겠는데? 그러지
You're
않는다.
enjoying this, aren't you? You're taking every opportunity you can to draw out the end of the world and make me suffer.
내가 어떻게 죽이겠어? 나의 사랑을 만났는데
That's the way out. We're going to leave together.
세상만
just like
멸망시키지
you
말아줘.
wanted.
Yes, I suppose you are going to do that, aren't you? You cross the room, opening the
그냥
door to
존재
the
자체가
cabin,
멸망시키는 건가?
and then you step outside.
로맨틱 케이즈?
A happy ending at last.
We did it. What should we do now?
갑자기 화면이 이상해져.
Where did everything go? Where did he go?
Oh, is he gone? I hadn't noticed. I was too
또
busy
멸망했나 보다.
staring deep into
그 목소리,
Arthur
해설자.
David's eyes.
I'm cold. Is being happy supposed to be so cold?
She's cold. Quick, our feathers. Pluck them all and weave her a coat worthy of a
미친놈이네
princess.
이거. 깃털을 뽑아서 외투를 만들어줘야 돼. 내가 안아줄게. 내가 안아주면 따뜻할 거야. 또 잡혀가네 이거. 그래도 좋은 기억만 만들어줬는데 공주한테.
She's gone. Where did she go? And is that a mirror? Why is it here?
괜찮을 거야. 날 믿어. 우리는 전에도 여기 왔었고 넌 그때도 두려워했어.
But it feels so bad. Like looking into it right now is going to be the end of everything.
Yes. I fear that we won't like what we'll see. What if we just sit here and preen for a while? That can't hurt.
원래 목소리가 들렸었나 여기서도? 이건 끝이 아니야. 앞길에 뭔가 있든 괜찮을 거야.
Okay. If you say so. She'll be there waiting for us. I just know it.
지대로 홀렸네 이거. 거울에 다가간다. 뭐야? 수척해졌다? 이거 어떻게 돼가고 있는 거야?
I am a growing chorus of contradiction.
이번엔
A
멀쩡하게
mass
있다.
of tides ebbing and flowing all at once in more directions than my attention can bear to hold. To look at any one is to shift them all into something new.
마지막은
And to look
죽여볼까?
away is to reshape them yet again. All of me is changing, and yet the rest of me is still the same.
너는 모순이 아니야. 모순은 존재하지 않아.
And yet my waters flow and my streets bustle. There are no words that can describe me into non-existence. There is no logic that can bind my multitudes. I am everything that you have known me to be, but I am also none of it.
이 그릇에 대해 어떻게 생각해?
This one is soft and delicate. You molded her to love you.
이 그릇은 부드러운가 연약하? 상냥한 심장이 되겠군요? 오히려 살리는 게 더 좋은 선택인가? 상냥한 심장이 되겠다.
Do not mourn her. She has served her purpose.
우리가 한 세계를 두고 떠날 때 그 세계는 어떻게 되는 거야?
My perspectives are shadowed. You have seen what I have seen, just as I have seen what you have seen. The angles of my vantage do not offer me hidden truths, and my attention is
얘도
turned
모르나 보네.
inward, except when you are here with me. Perhaps this will change when our work is done.
내가 다음에 어떤 그릇을 가져올지는 여전히 신경 쓰지 않는 거야?
I care about your gifts, but I have no preferences to burden you with. Even if I did, I would never dare to tarnish our relationship by assuming myself above you.
그릇을 얼마나 더 가져와야 되지?
We will know when
뭐 언제까지 갖고 와야 돼? 가자.
I will be here when it is time for us to meet again.
이번에는
Path
죽여야 되나
in the
이거?
woods. You're here.
가자. 조용히 가.
You make your way up the short path to the
이번엔 어떡하지? 일관성 있게 또 칼 없이 가야 되나?
The interior of the blade is your implement.
이번엔 가져가 보자.
Take the blade from the door to the basement.
안녕.
Don't be a stranger. It's been so long since I've had any visitors. Come on down.
목소리가 똑같은데 이거? 들켰네. 널 죽이러 왔어. 그럴 리가. 내가 왜 그러겠어. 아직 결정하지 않았어. 대화하러 왔을
Then
뿐이야.
why did you bring a knife with you? How about you drop it? And
내려놓고
then we can
대화하자고?
chat.
She makes a compelling point. What if we just dropped the blade and talked? Look, don't you dare. It's fine. We
단단히 진다.
You ignore the trembling in your hands and tighten your
이번에
grip on the blade.
죽일 각오로 하고
You
가자.
poor thing. Your hands are shaking. Are you scared of me? Because you should be.
You step forward, your grip on the blade tightening as you steel your resolve.
I'm probably chained up in this basement for a reason, right?
허풍이 아니라면? 미안. 그냥 대화할까? 당금을 떨어뜨릴 생각 없어. 죽여!
Doubt, unfortunately,
좆됐다.
clouds your thoughts as you attempt to run her through.
바로 자세 잡아보는데 공주님?
A moment of distraction and hesitation is all she needed to sidestep your thrust and deliver a catastrophic blow to your jaw. It feels like you've been hit with a sledgehammer. You can feel bone grinding on bone where your jaw has been fractured. Holy shit, that hurts! Though she's unarmed, the shock of that first strike is enough to
그냥
snap
아무 말
you,
대화도
putting you and the
안 하고
princess on
죽였어야
somewhat
됐나봐.
equal footing. Your blade slashes through the air again and again, and her fists connect with your body as many times or
뭐야,
more,
우는 거야?
each impact as
눈물인가,
heavy
이거?
as that first bone-crushing hit.
와, 이번에 그냥
We can still turn this around.
쳐맞아서 죽을 것 같은데? 가둔다. 마무리해!
You and the princess stare at each other, both gasping for breath, equally exhausted. You probably won't make it out of here alive, but you can at least make sure that she won't make it out of here either.
이게 칼을 들고 가면 이 얘가 나오고 안 들고 나가면 다른
Excuse
목소리가
me?
나오나 보네.
Do you think this is what I wanted to happen? I have a duty to state the facts of the situation.
양쪽 모두 숨이
Honestly,
붙어있는 게
it's a
기적에
miracle
가깝다?
anyone is still standing right
이거
now.
또 둘이 죽는 그건가?
Can you not feel all those ruptured organs bouncing around in there? If the princess doesn't do our friend in herself,
나
internal
어차피
bleeding
죽을
is certain
운명인가
to
보네.
finish the job. The two of you clash for the final time. You feel your ribs break as she delivers a heavy blow, but you push through the pain, falling forward and sinking your blade deep into the princess's heart.
Oh,
The two of you fall to the floor.
this was fun.
나는 아니야.
princess
난
gasps.
재미없었어.
Her voice an unhealthy rasp as her lungs start to fill with blood.
You put up more of a fight than I thought you would. But I have to
아까 막
wonder,
보니까 싸움꾼의 목소리 그것도
do
있던데.
you really think this is the end?
이거
But
아까
you don't have
들었던
time to worry
그건데.
over such things. Everything goes dark, and you.
호적수? 또 처음 보는 챕터.
You're on a path. You're here.
그 여자가 날 또 죽일 거야. 아니 안 돼. 이거 다 봤던 거. 그냥 가. 굳이 설명 들을
Warning.
안 해.
She will
설명 안
lie.
들어도 돼.
Are you sure? The point of my warning wasn't to start an argument. The princess will do and say, Crystal. Let's just get on with
이번이지.
it already.
싸움꾼. 또 싸움꾼이면 컨셉에 맞게 그냥 계속 죽여야 되나 이거?
The cabin is tighter than its exterior would suggest. Its cold stone walls press in on you, as if trying to forcefully direct you towards your destination. The only furniture of note is a black iron altar with a pristine blade perched on its edge. The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you want to do this right.
가져가.
You take the blade from
거울
the
이거
altar.
뭐 없는 것 같아
It will be
거울은.
difficult to slay the princess and save the world without a weapon.
한번 가볼까?
You walk up to the wall next to the base. What are you talking about? This isn't a wall. You reach
또
forward
없어.
and rub. There was a minute, and now it's gone. So all of us can stop arguing about it and get to fighting. The door to the basement creaks open, revealing a rough stone staircase, its walls pressing at your sides and tightening as you descend. The air seeping from below is heavy and oppressive, with an almost sulfuric odor to it. If the princess lives here, slaying her would probably be doing her a favor. Her fierce voice carries up the
사나운 목소리?
stairs.
Is that another challenger? Finally.
새로운
It's been
도전자?
ages since I've had a good fight.
This isn't what she sounded like last time. Her voice is a little deeper, almost threatening. Good. Sounds like my kind of princess.
내 취향의
As
공주구만.
much as I
이거
appreciate the
이러다가 갑자기
enthusiasm, just make sure
사랑이
you don't
싹
let your
트는 거 아니야?
bloodlust get to your head.
싸우다가
You need to
싸우다가
stay
정드는
focused
거
and
아니야?
keep your wits about you. Remember, you're here to slay the princess, not to have a good fight. As you descend the final
오,
step,
아니 뭔데
the
이거?
form of the princess
오.
comes into view. A
처음
large
보는
shackle
모습이다.
leading from her wrist to the basement
이분은
wall.
악마의 모습인데?
Looks like she could rip those chains out of the
아니,
wall without a
발은 또 왜
second
이래?
thought.
Oh, it's you again. I'd been hoping you'd find your way back here. Good to see that death doesn't stick for either of us. And you brought your little knife, too. Yes. I'm going to have fun breaking you into little pieces.
역시 날 기억하네.
Oh, I remember you all right.
최고의
3
3분이었다고?
minutes of my life.
다시 하는 게 어때?
So, why don't we do
이제
it
싸우면 질 것 같은데.
See? She wants to fight us again. There's no reason for us to stand around talking. All right, fine. If you're not going to address it, I will. What? You've already met the princess. The princess has already met you. The two of you killed each other. Did you think you'd be able to just
얘도 아는구만.
openly talk about all that without...
뭐야?
Maybe. You did seem to just gloss over the whole thing for a while. Of course I glossed over it. When a colleague says something insane, glossing over it is one of the best ways to stay focused and keep moving forward. Enough is enough. I believe you. And
That's all the more reason to take this seriously. You don't know that whatever brought the two of you back to life isn't a fluke. And beyond that, do you know who doesn't remember anything that happened last time? Me. I don't remember.
Are you okay?
Of course I'm not okay. As far as we're all concerned, the fate of my world is still very much on the line. Not all of us have the luxury of jumping over to a parallel
저의
universe the
세계?
second we die.
널 거슬리게 하기 위해 이제부터 더욱 진지하지 않게 임할 거야. 내 무관심이 얼마나 큰지 보라고. 누구한테 하는 소리지? 이거 해설자한테 하는 소린가? 무슨 소리인지 모르겠고 난 죽은 적 없어. 날 봐. 이렇게 할게 넘치는데 죽었다니. 거짓말!
Don't try to lie to me. Just please take this
거짓말 안 해?
seriously. Agreed. We can't win unless you treat this fight with the gravity it deserves.
아직 결정하지 않았다. 악마녀와 싸울 생각 없다. 싸우러 온 게 아닌 건 아니지만 우리 사이에 해결할 의문 좀 있어. 예를 들어 우리가 왜 아직 살아있는지. 좀 달라졌군. 사실 널 풀어주러 왔어. 조금 달라졌군.
You look exactly the same.
그러게 난 왜 안 달라지냐? 뭐야 끝이야? 우리가 왜 아직 살아있는지.
What is there to unpack? I was dead and now I'm not, and the same goes for you. There. Unpacking done. Don't you get it? We've been given free rein to wail on each other. Forever.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
아, 쉣. 이거 뭔가 이상한 성격 이상해지는데 이거? 공주를 공격한다.
Finally ready to complete your destined task, you launch off the wet stone floor of the basement
몰라,
and
탄전해,
catapult
그냥.
yourself headlong towards
아,
the
나 칼 있구나
princess.
참.
Here we go. Let's make this count. Oh, we'll make it count, all right. As you bridge the gap, your
오늘
blade
그었어.
slashes across the princess's chest, splitting skin and drawing a jagged line of bright red blood. But she's
우와.
unfazed by your onslaught.
아니 뼈
Her
부러지는
expression
소리가
barely
너무
changes as her fist collides with your
리얼.
ribs, cracking them like twigs and driving you right back down to the basement
나
floor.
한 대 맞고 KO
You
당했는데.
can hear her chains snap as you
아니
struggle to recover
샷을
from the
끊어냈어.
impact. She almost looks disappointed in us.
그야 한 방에 나가 떨어졌으니까.
Oh, you don't actually get it, do you?
아직도 모르는 거야?
That knife may be sharp, but you clearly don't want to kill me.
죽일 마음이 없었다고 내가?
It's not fun if you hesitate. It's not fun if you try to trick me and make me bleed out. It's only fun if you go straight for the heart. You need to put everything you have into seeing me dead. Or what's the point? So don't be afraid. Don't hesitate. Kill me.
Don't let her get in your head. Reincarnation or not, this world needs you to win. She's huge, but that probably means she's slower than us. Take it slow. Think it through.
우리보다 느리다?
Don't panic. Bleeding her out is our best course of action. Don't listen to them. She understands something that they don't. The only way to win, the only way out of this is through her.
허를
Push
찌른다.
yourself off the ground and attack the princess. Trying to
정면?
bait an opening.
정면하면 나 무조건 죽을 것 같아.
You do your best to outplay her, slashing out and leaving red cuts in the tattered remains of her white dress. But you have little room to maneuver. For every
보복으로
glancing
당신을
blow
벽에
you manage to
매닫고
land,
씁니다.
she slams you against the wall in retaliation, each impact threatening to be the last.
존나 세게 때릴 것 같아.
This weak little dance isn't working. Just toughen up and overpower her. She's throwing us around like a ragdoll. I think
오 소리
overpower
봐. 오.
is a little out of the question.
오.
Did you think you could stop me with a few cuts? All this dancing around is doing nothing but annoying me. I own this place, and I own
아,
you.
심장을 찔렀어야 된다.
Princess's
Oh.
arm shoots forward, her palm wrapping
아니,
around
상처가
your
왜
head,
없어졌어?
fingers gripping your skull.
How disappointing.
오, 아우 소리 좀 그런데?
She squeezes,
오,
the pressure unbearable as her fingers dig into your scalp. The last thing you hear is the unsettling crack of your skull and the sickening churn of what was your grey matter. Everything goes dark and you die.
죽었네. 바늘구멍?
You're on a path in the
뭐야,
wood.
왜
If you
여기야?
weren't so damned afraid of what she'd do to you, we wouldn't have died back there.
심장을 찔렀어야 됐나?
Fear is good. Fear keeps us alive.
사냥감의
We died
목소리?
because you didn't have enough of it. So what? You'd have us cower in a corner? No, but that place suits her better than it suits us. She's big. We can't hope to find holes and openings down there. We need more room if we're going to survive. Are you suggesting luring her into the woods? Do you have any idea how dangerous that would be? If you lose sight of her, if she manages to slip away, that's it. Game over forever. Are you not challenging us on all the looping? Have you known about it the whole time? Are you the same one we've been talking to
어,
since
그런가?
the
처음부터
beginning?
같은 사람이었나?
Sorry to disappoint what I'm sure must feel like a grand revelation, but that's not what's going on here. Then what is going on? What's going on is that you'd only be saying the things you've been saying if you'd already been here, and if you'd already seen things you weren't supposed to have seen. It doesn't matter. We could go in circles forever. I don't like staying still for too long. Let's get to the
여긴
cabin.
다른
See if it's
곳인데?
good.
오두막으로 어떻게 가냐?
We may have the same destination, but we're not the same. You are still an other, and I don't trust you. Well, fortunately, you have an entire trip through the woods to reconsider that. There's nothing to reconsider. We're all for violence here. Are we? I haven't signed off on anything yet. Violence is the answer here, but the method is
이번엔
important
최대한
to the act.
죽이는 쪽으로
Can't let
가야
her
되겠네.
leave the cabin. It's like I said, all just circles. Instinct tells me we need space.
이번에 사냥감의 목소리를 들어볼까?
Nothing else to
얘가
say.
원하는 쪽으로?
Not for me.
이곳이 얼마나 달라졌는지 얘기하고 있지 않았잖아. 여긴 숲이라고 하기도 어려워. 공주의 영향이 세상으로 퍼져나간 것 같아.
It's evidence of one of many ticking clocks. You can't let her spread any further. Things are always changing. She changed, the cabin changed, we've changed. Why wouldn't the woods change too? Because they're not supposed to have changed. This is supposed to be a path in the woods. If it's not, it means something's gone horribly wrong.
오두막에 간다. 가자.
It isn't long before you find
왜 이래,
yourself
이거?
at the end of the path, staring up the hill at the cabin. I hope you've given serious thought to your predicament. No last advice for us? No words of warning? From what I gather, you've heard it all before. There's no use screaming into the wind. I don't know. Screaming sounds pretty good right about now. I could use a little catharsis. Catharsis is for when we're finished. For now, we need to hold it out in front of us, something to chase.
가자.
The interior of the cabin is suffocatingly tight, more of a glorified tunnel than a building. Its stone walls
아니, 이번에 단검이
squeeze against
이렇게
your
있네.
sides, leaving you no choice but to press forward. The only furniture of note is an iron altar jutting out from the wall, a pristine blade perched on its edge. The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you're going to do this
단검으로
right.
이게 죽일 수 있나?
See? We have even less space than before. We need space or she'll
넓은
kill us.
공간은 바깥뿐이다.
And the only space is out there. Take it.
단검을 집어? 그래.
You take the blade from the altar. It would be difficult to slay the princess and save the world without a weapon. Good. There's no overcoming her without it. We need every part of us to survive, and that steel claw is as much a part of
강원도
us as any.
우리의 몸 일부나 마찬가지야?
You step forward and approach the door to the basement, hesitating before you open it. As if you don't see it. You do see it, right?
All we see is a damned mirror.
This really is just like last time.
It smells of nothing, yet it's...
쳐 부순다?
You bring your fist crashing down against the door leading to the basement. It swings open, scraping against the floor as it
이번에도
reveals the
거울
dim
그
path
없는 거울이네.
ahead.
Why am I not surprised?
It was in our way, and now it's not. That's all that matters.
이번에도 악마야?
Before you is what may as well be a sheer cliff face. There are enough footholds that you'll be able to clamber your way to the bottom, but it will require careful effort. The air hissing up from below is warm and wet, like the breath of an enemy locked in close quarters.
If the princess lives here, slaying her is probably doing her a favor.
Her voice, bold and fierce and impatient, echoes from the chamber below.
Do you have more fight in you than last time? That was such a disappointing show. I know you can do better than that.
Goad her, rile her up. If she's angry, she'll make mistakes.
오케이, 내가 너 말 들어볼게 한번. 이쪽 와서 덤비는 게 어때? 공주를 자극하고 화나게 만들어?
That's not how this works. I'm all chained up, remember? How about you come down here and fight me?
Those chains were nothing to her last time.
There'll be nothing to her this time. But we need to show ourselves first to make her boil over. Fine by me.
그래, 가자.
You've nowhere to go but down. You start the difficult journey, gripping the stone, lowering yourself foot by
아니,
grueling
뭐
foot.
얼마나 내려간 거야?
But soon,
근데 어떻게
there is
올라가?
solid ground beneath you.
올라가다가 잡힐 것
But
같은데?
every crack and crevice will need to be faster than her. You turn to face
뭔데,
what
얘?
lies at the end of the narrow tunnel.
야,
The princess,
개 좁은데?
imposing and tightly muscled, grins back at you from the darkness. Her face
아니,
widens into a
근육 봐.
broad grin.
There you are, knife in hand. How thrilling. Attack me, bleed me, twist the blade in my
죽이기엔 칼이 너무
flesh,
짧은 거 아닌가?
break your bones against my body. I want a real challenge this time.
We can't get that close. She'll kill us in the tight space, steel claw or not. Make her come to us, stand beyond her chains, and let her become
사슬을
frenzied.
끊으면 도망가라고?
She'll break
이게
them,
가능하냐 이게?
then we run.
I really don't like the sound of this.
It's the only way we live.
Well, what are you waiting for? If we're gonna do this right, you can't be scared. You need to want this as much as I do. So go on. Make the first move. Don't
응,
keep
안
me
해.
waiting.
공격 안 할 거야. 잠깐 대화하자. 묻고 싶은 게 있다. 네가 날 죽인 이후로 무슨 일이 있었는지 궁금해.
We've talked plenty. I'm sick of talking. I'm sick of waiting. I'm sick of you standing just out of reach and teasing me with a fight you won't let me have.
통하고 있어.
You disappointed me last time, so you don't get to choose what happens next.
Bloody desire in her
아니,
eyes,
뭐야,
the
벌써
princess
풀고
rushes
온다고?
forward,
도망가!
ignoring her chains as they bend and snap.
아니, 뭐 한 번 더 말하게 해주지.
Run. Without hesitation, you turn back the way you came and
야,
scramble
얘는
up the
점프로
ledge
이거
towards
한
the
번에
top
올라가는
of
거
the
아니야?
entrance. As you near the top, hands
오,
desperately
존나
clawing at
무섭다
jagged
이거.
stone, you glance
존나
back.
무섭겠다 이거
The
뒤돌아보면.
princess is right on your heels.
She doesn't bother to scale the wall as you do, instead digging deep into the rock of the cliff face with her fingertips in her rabid pursuit.
Anywhere you go, I will follow.
Good. You reach the ledge and hoist yourself up into the tunnel. The
근데 이거
door
갑자기 문
finally in
닫히는 거
sight,
아니야?
at once within your grasp and infinitely
계속
distant.
문 닫히던데.
What is all of this for? What's the
뭐야?
point?
뭔 소리야?
You and I are always going to end in violence, so why
나
bother
맞은
to
줄
run?
알았네.
I know what I am. Why can't you be the same? Little bird, where do you think you're going?
We're almost there. Don't think about almost. We're there when we're there. And we'll take the fight with us. Your skin hums tight with
오, 다
adrenaline
그래도
as
다행히
you burst
문은 안
through the
잠그네.
cabin door and roll onto the grass. You glance back at the
우와,
cabin as the
덩치가.
princess, singular in her desire to destroy you, explodes through the doorway. You are walking a dangerous path. If you waver once, it's all over. So get.
There's nothing left to slow me down. Do you think this is better for you? Do you think this space gives you an edge? Then show me. Show me that you've been worth all the room you've taken up in my head.
Do it. Be swift, strike true. Be
빠르게
where she's
유효타를
not.
먹여?
Let your body move you.
빈틈? 함정에 빠져. 싸워.
You leap from the grass and bound towards the princess, keeping low.
말 걸면 왠지 또 이게 안 될 것 같아. 그냥 아무 말 없이
Charging
싸워.
me head on. Brave and foolish.
Her body braces for impact, anticipating the clash. That's where you're both wrong. Left, now.
레프트.
As the princess strikes, your body swerves to the left. She overextends, stumbling as her balance shifts unexpectedly. Strike. Before you can finish the thought, you lash out, the blade slicing through her leg. She turns to swing again. Right. You move out of the way, but this time it's not quite as clean. You can feel a bruise already blooming where her elbow crashed into flesh. It's nothing. A scratch. Yes, it could be worse. And you managed to gift her another cut in return. I'll be damned. We're actually gonna pull this off.
아까보다 덩치가 더 커진 것 같은데 이 녀석?
Just might. But don't let it get to your head. Not until it's over.
Yes, finally! This is the hole I felt in my heart. This is what I've needed. This is what I've been missing. This is how it always needed to end. Both of us giving it our all, beating and bleeding each other to death.
The two of you engage in a devastating flurry of blows, each of you wounding the other again and again. She's stronger, but you're faster, and the deeper the both of you fall into your lethal dance, the more your edge shines over hers. She's slowing down, blood pouring from wounds, splattering at her feet, leaving her weak
내가
and
이기나?
unsteady. More! Keep going! We can't stop now! You spy an opening.
뭐야?
But this time she's waiting.
아 뭐야?
for
씨,
you.
또 같이
She
죽어
lets
이거?
you sink the blade deep, trapping you in place long enough to wrap you in her impenetrable arms. You're slammed to the ground. Nothing! These blows are nothing to us! But her gambit wasn't enough to close the gap. It wasn't enough to kill you. She stares you down,
뭐야?
coughing up a splash
당신을
of
죽이기에
blood as she
충분하지
gasps
않습니다.
for breath.
안 죽었나 본데?
You've outplayed me, haven't you? Something feels wrong. Something.
And?
뭐야? 이대로 끝이야?
She's gone. Where did she go?
내가 이겨도 끝나나
Should
보네.
we try and
잡혀가네.
find her?
아니 아까부터 계속 챕터 2, 3에서 끝나는데? 뭐야 이거?
And there's that mirror again. Why is it here? Why now?
당연히 들었겠지. 괜찮을 거야. 두 배 다 했던 거네. 다가가 그냥.
This doesn't feel right. It feels different.
마지막 같다고? 4개 집어넣었는데 지금 그릇을.
Thing reeks of death.
Screw the mirror. We just need to find the princess.
목소리들이 자꾸 멀게 느껴진다. 어? 당신은 해체되었다? 왜 갑자기 이렇게 생겼냐? 다가가.
There's a world beyond the endless walls of the long quiet.
정막에 끝없이 펼쳐진 벽 너머에 바깥 세상이 있다?
Do you know what we'll find out there?
아니요. 어떤 것을 찾게 될까요? 넌 이미 알고 있는 거 아니야? 적어도 사람들이 있을 거야? 넌 우리가 실제로 존재한다고 생각해? 이 그릇에 대해 어떻게 생각해?
This one yearns to
사나운
grow
심장?
and struggle. Even now I feel a will pushing against mine, not realizing that we are one. She will make for a fierce heart.
아 이거 별론데 사나운 심장은 안 좋은
Do
건데.
not mourn her. We will provide her with the growth she fought for.
그녀의 투쟁에 알맞는 성장을 줄 테니까요. 이건 뭐야? 네가 날 돌려보낼 때마다 난 혼자가 아니야. 내 말을 거는 목소리들이 있어. 일부는 나지만 그중 한 명은 뭔가 다른 존재야. 난 그를 해설자라고 불러. 그는 내가 널 죽이기를 원해. 네게도 해설자가 있어? 그릇들에게도 해설자가 있는 거야?
No, their thoughts are quiet. Do you think your narrator lives in the spaces beyond?
바깥에서 사는 존재? 맞아. 이유는 모르지만 난 알고 있어. 너와 난 진실을 알게 되겠지.
Do not look to one who fears me for your truth. The only answers worth knowing are those we can find
필요한
within
답은
ourselves.
우리에게서 찾을 수 있어요? 저 바깥에 실존하는 게 있을까?
We are real. Nothing is an idea that dwells in the absence of something. But nothing cannot exist on its own. And because of that, nothing can't exist.
뭐야, 돌아갈 준비가 됐어? 뭐 또 가져와야 돼 이제?
Whatever
하나.
you bring me next will be enough.
이제 마지막이네. 다섯 번을 통해야 되는구나.
I will be singular. A final multitude.
혹시 내가 가져다 줬으면 하는 그릇이 있어?
These gifts are a conversation, and each one shows me the contours of your heart. The only thing I want to see is what you choose for me when the thread is fully drawn.
이번이 마지막이라 난 돌아가지 않을 거야. 그냥 여기 있을 거야? 돌아가자.
The next time I see you, each of us will finally know.
이왕 여기까지 왔는데 정체를 알아야겠어.
I will be here.
말하기 전에 가네.
You're on a path.
조용히 오두막에 간다. 가자, 조용히.
You make your way up the short.
아니 이제 뭐 또 뭐 선택지가 남았나?
The interior of the cabin.
그냥 가? 단검? 그냥 단검? 그냥 가볼까 이번에는?
The door to the basement.
그냥 가.
You're still listening to reason.
대화하지 말고 그냥 가자.
It would be better if you had a weapon, but you may still be able to do what needs to be done. You walk down the stairs and lock eyes with the princess. There's a heavy chain around her wrist, binding her to the far wall of the bed.
족쇄를 살펴본다.
You're only making this more difficult. You're making a huge mistake. No, you're doing the right thing.
여기까지는 다 해봤던 건데 열쇠가 없다면 위로 올라가 보지.
Okay, I'll be here. Good luck.
이거는 안 하긴 했었는데.
You attempt to make your way out of the basement, but the
어?
door at the top
아니,
of the
못 올라가네?
stairs slams shut.
문을 잠궜대. 내려가.
You make your way to the bottom of the stairs.
어? 뭐야? 아, 이거 그거 자기가 그거 한 거네. 죽이자.
Without hesitation, you bring the blade down and plunge it into the princess's
구한 거는
back.
다 해봤는데 뭐 더 있나? 구했을 때?
The wound drives her to the ground.
아, 좀 불쌍한데 이렇게
Okay.
보니까.
There's no going back now. I'm with you to the end.
You bastard. Were you lying to me this whole time?
목소리 바뀌었어.
The princess pushes away from you, the motion ripping the blade from her back. Wounded, but still alive, she crouches on all fours in the corner of the room.
이 장면을
You've
봤는데.
made a terrible enemy.
넌
And
무슨
there's
일이 있어도
nothing in
살아남지
the world that
못해?
can possibly save you from me.
목소리가 또 바뀌었어.
I thought we had the upper hand, but it's as if she's barely even threatened by us. It's an act. She's wounded and unarmed. There's nothing she can do to hurt you. I'm not so sure. Don't waver now. As you ready your blade to deliver a lethal blow, she lunges at your legs with the same animal ferocity she used to tear at her arm. Your knife cuts into her again and again as you're tackled to the ground, your body racked with pain as she rips into you with tooth and claw.
오, 이빨 뭐야 이거? 송곳니.
Forget about trying to rescue her. This is about survival now. Give her everything you've got.
공주를 죽인다.
Though your nerves are seizing with pain, you know you've done your fair share of damage as well, your blade having left deep gashes in the princess's back. You seize a moment of hesitation to throw her off of you and shakily push yourself back to your knees. We can still turn this around.
뭐야? 포기한다, 마무리한다, 계단 뛰어 올라가, 가둔다, 출혈로 죽는다. 마무리한다? 이거 안 해본 선택지긴 한데 마무리도 안 해보고. 마무리해.
You steel your resolve and take another step closer to the princess. You probably won't make it out of here alive, but you can still make sure that she... Excuse me? What is about not making it out of here alive?
어? 살아서 나가지 못할
Do you think
거라고?
this is what I wanted to happen? I have a duty to state the facts of the situation, and honestly, it's a
양쪽 모두
miracle
숨이 붙어 있는 게
anyone in this room is
기적이라고?
still standing right now.
나는
Don't
칼
act
들고
so
있는데?
surprised. Can you not feel all those gashes and holes pulling you apart? If the princess doesn't do you in here,
아니
blood
이건
loss is
출혈로
certain to
죽을
finish the job.
운명이라고?
You take another step forward, and the princess lunges towards you. The two of you enter one last exchange, a flurry of blade and claw and fleshy ribbons. And then you stop. Neither you collapse on the ground, and the princess collapses beside you. Blood pools around you both, and you watch each other fade away.
After all this time alone, I thought I'd finally found a friend.
뭐야?
But you were
친구가
just another
생겼다고
monster,
생각했다.
weren't you?
하지만 너도 똑같은 괴물이었다?
Silence as the room starts to get fuzzy around you. You've paid a terrible
이거
price.
맨손으로 가면은 구해줘야 되나?
It's over.
If you think this is it,
좋됐다.
you're sorely
큰일 났는데 이거.
mistaken. One way or another, I'll make sure you pay for this.
But you don't have time to worry over such things.
구해줘야 되나봐 이거.
Everything goes dark, and you die.
칼 들고 갔으면은 죽이고 안 들고 갔으면 살려야 되나 본데? 마녀. 이것도 처음 보는 거긴 해.
You're on a path in the woods. You're here to.
데자뷰? 이것도 다 봤던 거 아닌가? 가자.
A warning. She will lie.
Don't worry.
기회주의자의
You trust us to get
목소리?
the job done.
이번에도 다른 목소리다. 얘 말 한번 들어볼까? 기회주의자 목소리.
The interior of the cabin is a mess of twisted roots. The walls a chaotic weave of knotted wood that, almost as if by accident, just happened to resemble a room. The floor is damp and earthy, and the only furniture of note is a slab of mud in the shape of a shelf, with a pristine blade perched on its edge. The blade is your implement.
가져간다? 들어간다? 들어갔다. 들어가면 안 될 것 같은데. 가져가 일단.
You take the blade from the shelf. It would be difficult to
이미
slay the
나
princess and
큰일
save
났어.
the world without a weapon.
없이 가면 좆될 것 같아.
Well, if we're grabbing a weapon, we should probably keep it hidden behind our backs. She doesn't have to know we have it. That's not actually a bad idea.
숨긴다고 과연 모를까? 이번에도 거울이 이 거울이 뭘까?
The door to the basement
분해도
creaks
없는데.
open, revealing a staircase dug into the muddy earth below. The ceiling is thick with roots that hang like locks of tangled hair. The weak starlight from the cabin windows behind you can barely penetrate the gloom here, only illuminating the edges of an opening below. It shines in the darkness like some kind of massive maw waiting to swallow you up into the earth. The air smells of dirt and copper. It's thick and wet, as if your lungs are being... Her voice skitters up from below.
Something nasty finds itself on my stairs. Come on down. Don't be
웬만하면
scared.
물지
I
않을게.
probably won't bite.
역겨운 것이 있다? 나 이제 역겨운 것 됐어? 난 역겹지 않아. 안녕.
I recognize that voice as easily as I recognized your nervous little footsteps
얘
coming up the
타락했다.
path. I know
괜히
who you
죽여가지고.
are, and I remember what you've done.
She must have you confused with someone else. She seems friendly enough. Maybe we can talk our way out of this whole
풀까? 우리 대화로
situation.
풀까?
You can't. Unless you slay her right away, she's going to break... Look, I'm just throwing ideas out there. I like to think out loud. I'm the kind of guy who likes a discussion. Don't we want to hear what everyone has to say before making any big decisions? Do you want to hear what everyone has to say? Or do you just want to hear yourself talk? You need to stop lingering. Your task is to slay the princess, not endlessly debate about what to do with the princess. Fine, fine. You're the boss. Thank you. You descend the basement steps, entering
이렇게
the
이제
dark room
갑자기
below.
구석에 숨어 있냐?
You can just make out the shape of the princess in the gloom. She's huddled against the far wall, her eyes bright and glaring from amid the thick roots.
And there you are, one hand tucked away behind your back, gripping that sharp, sharp blade, no doubt.
That's no fair. How would she know that?
So, we've dropped the pretenses.
얘도 설마 이거 다 푸는 거 아니야 이거?
Good.
She's acting like the two of you already know each other. Oh, no.
That's pretty sharp. How'd you figure that one out? Call it deductive reasoning.
연역적 추?
Well, you
뭔 소리야?
seem to be great at it. Do you remember us then? Do you remember last time? No, I don't. But you and the princess clearly have a shared reality. I'm just glad we could put all this behind us. Is it all behind us? Just focus on the task at hand. I don't care if you've been here before, and I don't care if you think you'll go somewhere else after this. My world is on the line right now, so I'd
나는
appreciate it
상관없나?
if you would take this
얘
seriously
세계가
and slay
위태로운
her.
상태면은 내 세계가 아닌 것 같은데.
Let's chat her up a bit first. Maybe we can find a middle ground where everyone's happy. Don't talk to her. You're just going to make things more
대화해볼까?
difficult than they
기회주의자가
have to be.
대화해보라는데.
Well, I seem to remember you having a tongue.
지난번 일은 미안해. 난 실수를 저질렀어. 분명 너도 실수를 저진 적 있겠지. 누군가를 널 풀어줘야 하잖아. 날 미워한다는 느낌이 드는데. 내가 어쩔 수 있는 일이 아니었어. 우린 힘을 합쳐야 해? 어째서 널 풀어주면 내 등을 찌를 것 같다는 안 좋은 예감이 드는 거지? 난 널 해치고 싶지 않지만 신뢰를 회복해야겠지. 내 선이라고 생각해줘. 그래, 이번 살려줄게.
You
칼
can't
가져가.
be serious. Now hold
우리
on.
힘을
We
합쳐서
should put this to a vote.
우리 힘을
The
합쳐보자고.
blade is one of our most valuable assets. We can't just give it to her. What if she uses it to kill
어?
us?
아, 반대야?
I vote no. As do I. Abstain? You abstain. She's
기권?
going to kill us if we give it to her. We're
넘겨.
going to get everyone killed. You know that, right?
이걸로 신뢰를 회복한다면 오케이야.
You toss the blade at the princess's feet. She eyes it with suspicion before kneeling down to pick it up.
I wouldn't have done that. Why did you?
You hear a clanging of metal against the dirt floor, and the chains fall from the princess's wrist. She could have gotten out of those the whole time. That's
언제든지 뺄 수
sneaky
있을
little.
것 같다. 내 말을 들어줘 일단. 나 죽이기 전에.
A woman after my own heart. It's a shame we just gave her a weapon, because if I were her, I'd use it on us right now. Luckily for us, you're not her. Oh, we sure think alike, though. I can promise you that.
신중히
Whatever you say
고르라고.
next, you better make it count. She creeps
어?
forward.
아니 좀
taking
대화
one
좀 하자.
cautious
칼
step at a
줬잖아.
time until you and she are face to face.
어?
What do you think happened
좋됐다.
now?
나 죽을 것 같은데. 난 지난번에 결정을 냈고 그 결정을 후회했어. 이번에 네가 결정을 낼 차례야. 우리는 모두 겁먹었고 소리치고 있어. 너는 아름다워. 너를 구하고 싶어. 그건 네게 달렸어.
Her shoulders tense and her eyes dart away.
어? 통했나? 어깨가 긴장한 듯 올라가 있다.
This is another trick. You're trying to sow doubt, but it's not going to work
아니야.
on me.
진짜라고 제발.
And
어?
then she buries the blade in your heart. What? No. No, come on, that's not right. I told you. I told you this is what she was going to do. Glee dances across her face as you fall to the ground.
I did it. I got you. You.
The princess seems to tremble. Her smile
오
fading
왜
quickly,
갑자기 또 갑자기
replaced with
눈물이
concern.
차오르는데.
Her nervous eyes brim with tears.
Why? Why did you let me do this?
나도 모르겠는데.
But you don't have the strength to respond, nor do you have the time. Everything goes dark, and you die.
뭐야? 가시?
You're on a path in the woods.
사실은 세 선택지다.
She actually
죽는
stabbed
선택지가
us.
아니었을까?
Of course she stabbed us. We gave her the blade, which, I might add. But the whole point was that she wasn't supposed to do that. The whole point of giving her the blade was to break
배신감의
the
목소리.
cycle of violence.
배신당해서
she
이거
just killed us
배신감의
anyway.
목소리 됐나 본데.
I guess it really doesn't matter if she killed us, though, right? We're back here, which means that everything's fine.
긍정적이네.
Or fine. Maybe she won't be as keen to betray us this time. We've already proven to her that we can change. Maybe that's all it'll take
그래
to show her
이번에
that there's
배신
another
안
way
할
to
수도
do
있지.
things. You know,
maybe you're right. In which case, I suppose the only thing to do is to get back to... Give what another try exactly? You are aware I've been listening to you, right? Like that changes anything. We all know the game is rigged. It doesn't even matter if she's nice this time. I'm sure he'll find a way to turn us against each other. Great, so you've obviously been here before. Twice, actually. Sure. Twice. Then I'll spare...
풀어줄 거야. 공주가 뭐라고 할지는 오두막에 가야 알 수 있을 거야. 대사가 또 다르네?
Good. Playing both sides. That's what smart people do, and you're the smartest in the room. I'm not sure it counts as playing both sides if people can hear you doing
그게
it.
전략인지 잘
Buddy,
모르겠네.
you're thinking in far too few dimensions. There's layers to doing this right, and I'm pretty sure the one making the choices gets that. Trust in what plan? The decider's plan. Sure, we don't know what the plan is yet, but that's part of the whole trusting thing, isn't it? A good leader knows how and when to keep things secret, and sometimes a good leader even knows to keep things secret. Sure, we'll see what she has to say for herself, but don't forget that whatever she says is likely
우리의 패를
just as much
드러내지
lies
말자고?
as what he's been telling us. If I were you, I'd remember what she's done. You know how dangerous she is.
아니야, 갑자기
Should know
울었어.
someone like her shouldn't be
나를
let loose
위해서.
upon the world.
이제 걔도 괘씸했을 거야. 가자고. 오두막에 가보자고.
It isn't long before you
뭐야,
find
이거
yourself
다시.
at the base of the cabin. I think it's clear where everyone stands at this point. I don't know if I'd say, you talking about me? I have a position. It's a good one too. Ignore him, he's just talking for talking's sake. My position is the only one that matters.
가자. 이번엔 어떤 집일까?
The interior of the cabin
우와,
is
뭐야, 이거
hardly an
장비.
interior at all anymore. The burned out ruins merely suggest the shape of the structure that once stood here, charred wood still reeking of ash. But beneath it lies the fresh smell of spring growth after rain. The only furniture of note is the crisp shell of what was once a table.
단검
A
없는데 이제?
pristine...
이제
Wait,
단검이 없어.
This isn't right. There's supposed to be a pristine blade. We gave it to her last time.
그런가?
She can't still have it.
그래서 공주한테
Can she?
있나?
Well, it's not here. And if she has it... Let me guess. You want to get all chummy with her. Look, as far as I see it, if it's between him and her, I say we side with the one who has the weapon. It's just the smart thing to do. I wouldn't be so hasty. I'm sure the blade will turn up somewhere. She can't have it. That's not how this is supposed to work. Of course we don't get to make a choice about the blade. Every single time we come back here, something has to be different. You step forward and approach the scorched entryway lead. Might as well take a look while we can. There's nothing else to do here now that the knife has been taken from us. You reach forward and wave your hand through the hollow
이번에도
entrance
없구나.
into the basement.
아, 이게 입구라고? 아무것도 없는데?
Figures. Well, seems like the only way to go is forward. Yes, that's where everything tends to be. Let's just put on a good face and have our wits about us. You step through the frame of scorched wood and make your way into the darkness below. The stairs to the basement are covered in a fine layer of gritty ash. The air still feels warm, as if the fires that ruined this place had only recently been
이거
extinguished.
지나갈 수 있냐? 가시
Yet
다
fresh shoots
찔리는데
of
이거?
thorny branches are already weaving themselves through the soot-covered earth of the walls around you. Their spines point courteously down towards the basement, so you're able to
그래?
brush past
찔릴
their
일이
jagged
없다.
points with ease, at least on the way down.
아,
But
근데
you don't need to think about the way
올라갈
back
때는
up just
위험한가
yet.
보네?
I'd say this feels like a trap, but you practically said as much. They're only thorns. I'd say getting a few scratches in exchange for the lives of everyone in existence is a fair trade. Her voice, worn down by pain and suspicion, hobbles up the stairs.
무력한 목소리?
I can't get away from you, can I? We kill each other and you come back.
도망칠 수 없다.
You let me kill you and you come back. I don't know why you let me do that. I don't know what you want from me.
난 널 풀어주고 싶어. 난 그저 대화하고 싶어. 진짜 대화 말이야. 난 여기서 탈출할 방법을 찾고 싶어. 대화하고 싶어 나는.
I think you know how this goes. I'm down here and I can't leave.
So, come down and talk.
갑자기 또
It's not like
속에
I can
있는데
stop you.
사람이.
You continue down the basement stairs, brushing past the smooth edges of thorns that grow more and more plentiful as you make your way forward. You step out into what was once a vast
이거?
open cavern, now
갈 수 있긴
overrun by
한 거냐, 이거?
briars and prickles and thistles. The space thick
얘가
with
들고 있다.
hostile vegetation. At the heart of it all, encased in a tight weave of vines, is the princess, her bloody, trembling hands clutching a pristine blade.
Did you know this was going to happen to me? Are you here to watch me suffer? Are you here to laugh?
아니? 날 죽여놓고 뭘 기대한 거야? 비웃으러 온 게 아니야. 허락만 해준다면 널 풀어주고 싶어. 단검을 줘? 멋대로 해? 좋아. 뭐야, 떠난다고 왜 이렇게 많아? 풀어줄게. 이번엔 진짜야. 미안해.
Her grip
나만 믿어.
tightens on the blade.
로고 왜 이렇게 자동으로 가지냐?
But you're hiding something, aren't you? Why would you help me if you weren't helping yourself?
그야 불쌍하니까. 나도 자유를 원해. 나도 너처럼 갇혀있는 존재야. 우리 함께 떠나야 돼.
The princess clutches the blade closer to her
잘못
chest.
말했나봐. 아씨.
That sounds nice.
아니야, 나쁘지 않아.
I'm so tired of the bad blood between us. But it's hard to let
미안해.
it go.
그래서 너도 날 아프게 했잖아. 쌤쌤으로 치지 않을래 우리?
Her eyes dart away from yours for a brief moment.
And I've also hurt you.
그래, 없던 일로 하자. 쌤쌤으로 치고. 널 설득시킬 수 없는 거야?
I don't know. What can either of us really say at this point? How can we trust something as hollow as words?
뭐 그냥 얘가 칼로 이거 슥 자르면 안 되나? 스스로?
She's right, there's nothing left to say. So let's get a move on and do something before she comes up with a scheme to get out of here on her own. Careful with that one. He's not the smooth negotiator he thinks he is.
근데 얘 혼자 이거 해도 날 죽일 마음은 없는 것
If there's
같은데.
even anything to do besides make things worse. We're not making things worse. I think she wants to trust us.
그렇다면 이제 말로 할 단계는 지난 모양이고 중요한 건 행동이야. 물어봐야 되나 이거? 이제 단검을 가져가도 될까? 아니면은 행동이야?
You reach towards her bloodied hands, laying your palm on her trembling fingers.
지금 아니면 언제 가져가겠어?
For a moment, she clutches it even tighter, her
아니.
knuckles going white with the effort.
아니 아직도 못 믿어? 한 번 더 얘기했어야 됐나?
But then the tension fades.
Her
Her grip finally loosens and she allows you to
드디어 날
take the weapon.
믿어주는구나.
You carefully pull it free from the thorns, though they scrape at your skin, leaving red trickles of fresh blood all along your arms.
이거 구해주는 게
Without.
맞는
She
건가?
really gave it to us. It feels like it's been so long since we've held real power in our hands. I wonder what we should do with it. We free her, obviously. It's the right thing to do. I think you're right. She's as much a victim in all of this as we've been. Besides, wouldn't
배신감의
really stick it to
목소리는
him to free her.
이제 구해주는 쪽으로 갔나 보네.
Or, hear me out. We slay her.
근데
Right
이것도
here,
맞긴 해.
right now. She's never
지금이
been
딱
so helpless, and if we don't
죽이기
take
좋은
advantage of
그건데
that, we may never get another chance.
그때 너무 불쌍한데?
That sounds like a splendid idea. You should listen. We've all said our piece. Now it's time to make our move. It's 2 against 1. It's 2 against 2.
2대2?
You don't count.
넌 포함 안 돼?
And why shouldn't he count? Because he's clearly not one
맞긴 해.
of us.
우리들이 아니잖아.
That doesn't matter. He's been with us the whole time. He should get a say.
So, Did you mean it? Or was I a fool to hand my life to you?
이건 너무한 거 아니야? 단검 챙기러 온 거야. 알아서 잘 살아. 내 마음은 진심이야.
What a good
풀어줄게.
idea. Let's cut her free.
뭐야 갑자기 죽이자면서 왜 풀어준대?
Oh, so you're suddenly team free her.
그니까
You can't just switch sides as soon as we make a decision.
갑자기 왜 이러는데? 왜 말이
I can do
바뀌었어
whatever I
또?
want, and I believe with my whole heart that this is the right course of action. Let's free this princess. Even if he'll stick a knife in our back as soon as he has the opportunity, it's still better to have him nominally on our side. At least that gets him to shut
이게
up for a while.
1챕터에서 칼을 안 들고 가니까 되게 순한 성격이야.
See? We're all friends here, united in our actions and intentions. Yeah, united. But the other one has a point. If it keeps you quiet, sure, we're all friends. You take the blade to the thorny vines imprisoning the princess, and she flinches, relaxing only slightly as the blade slices into the thick vegetation rather than her arm.
야 이거 왕관도 크라운도 이거 덩굴로
And
해놨네.
she flinches again as the last of the vines is cut away, as if, after all of that, she's still expecting you to turn on her and stab her in the heart.
안 죽일
You're
거라니까.
not going to do that, are you?
그만 이제 의심하지 마.
Is that really all you've got? Threatening us
이거
with an
근데
accidental
해설자가 이거
misstep?
조종하는 거 아니야?
Expected more from you. Our blade didn't even waver when he said that. Yeah, you're right. He's a bit of a nobody, isn't he? Good thing I've been on your side of all this since the beginning. The princess falls into your arms, tears streaking down her cheeks. I can't believe you're making me describe this. I
눈물이 그녀의 뺨을 타고 흐릅니다. 당신이 실수입니다.
You actually meant it. You rescued me.
아, 이걸 덩굴로 가린 건가 여기는? 옷이 없는 건가 지금? 물론이지. 난 우리를 가둔 사람들이 싫을 뿐이야. 물론이지.
She smiles, her hand slipping into yours, and the two of you rush to the basement stairs. Shameful, really, that the same thorns that so graciously allowed you downstairs
막고
are now
있다고?
blocking your only way out. You're getting desperate, aren't you? Even more proof that you can't
하지만
actually do
공주라면
anything to stop us.
갑자기 이걸 치우지 않을까?
We cut through those other vines just fine. They're only thorns. I'm not afraid of getting a few scrapes. I'm not even sure we need to do any cutting. We can just move them out of the way.
A few pointy sticks can't keep us down here. We're both meant for so much more than this.
나아간다. 가시덩굴 자른다. 아씨 이거 어떻게 하지? 얘들아 자를 필요도 없다. 길을 터기만 하면 돼. 나아가.
As you step into the thorns
오!
covering the basement stairs, they
이게 통했어? 알아서 비켜주는데?
both you and the princess
우리의
ascend
마음이
the
통했나봐.
stairs without
가시들한테도.
obstacle. This is unacceptable. The second you step out of this cabin with her, the world ends. Do you hear me? What did the world ever do to you to
뭐야?
deserve
왜
this?
갑자기 웃고 있지 이거?
It feels so good to hear you say that you're admitting you've lost and we've bested you at your own game at last. I don't care what happens now. That's all. You and the princess hesitate at the cabin door. This is your last chance.
여기서 죽이면 너무
We've already made
애만데.
our decision.
We're finally leaving here together, aren't we? And all we had to do was trust each other. It wasn't easy, but I'm glad we finally could.
뭐야 죽이는 선택지도 없어 심지어.
Hands clasped, the two of you
New
open the
Reaper.
door and step out into a new day. You irredeemable
이
murderers.
잔악무덕한 살인마들아?
What do we do now?
진짜 멸망시키는 놈인가 이거?
Where's everything going?
왜 아무것도 없지?
Why is it so cold?
아 하루 뒤에 데려가지.
She's gone. Where does she? Oh, there's that mirror again.
이것도 다 똑같은 거.
This doesn't feel right. It feels it's going to do something to us. I can feel it.
they think it's bad.
사라졌다. 당신은 아무것도 아니다. 뭐야? 뭐지? 까마귀인가? 넌
I
나야?
think you know what I am.
아, 해설자구나 이거. 뭐야? 네가 해설자군. 영영 못 보는 건가 생각하고 있어.
Yes. I suppose that's my job, isn't it? You needed help after all. An objective voice to guide your blade. But you were never supposed to see me.
도대체 얼마나 많은 세계를
I
멸망시킨
wonder how many
건가요?
worlds you've damned to extinction to fall this far.
질문할 때마다 파괴되나 본데? 난 널 여러 번 만났는데 그게 전부 너였던 거야?
And that's by both necessity
그건
and
아니라네.
design. This construct you're in exists in many places at once. Anytime you failed, anytime you thought yourself dead, it would restart and shunt both your consciousness and hers into another world. But you'll be awake soon, and then it won't be able to work like that anymore.
뭐 하고 싶은 말이라도 있어? 네 오만함으로 불러니 엉망이 돼. 우리에게 저지른 짓이 있는데도 모두가 살 가치가 있다고 생각해?
Nobody alive has done anything to you. I'm all gone. But if you and the princess want to smite the rest of them for the crimes of a dead man, if you really want to be that petty, there isn't much I can do to stop you.
역시 루프에 대해 알고 있었거든. 왜 내게 거짓말을 했지? 난 이 모든 것을 보면 안 됐던 거지. 사람들은 이것에 대해 알고 있어? 네가 내게 시키는 일을 알고 있는 거야?
Of course not. The only way this construct could function was if nobody knew what it was doing.
그래? 아무도 모른다고?
The bones of the universe are old. When the patterns are wiped from the sand, when the board is reset, who will remember them? All I've done is give them a chance to live outside of the shadow of the end.
오, 점점 사라진다. 내 진짜 정체는 뭐야?
You're the long quiet, the god I
죽음의
made to
세계를
rid the world of
막기
death.
위해 제가 창조한 신? 진짜 죽였어야 됐나? 어떻게 세계의 죽음을 없애라는 거야? 공주는 무엇이지? 그녀도 네가 만든 존재야?
She is the shifting mound,
변이하는
the ebb
집합지.
and flow, the capacity to change. She is transformation, or most of it. Her nature is why I had to die.
타자의
She
관점에
becomes
따라
that which
변화하는
others
그녀의
perceive her to be. But an echo can't perceive things, not in the way that people can. So I tucked a part of myself into the folds of this construct to guide you. This isn't the end just yet. You can still destroy her and save everyone. You were made to do this single task.
뭐,
You
아직도
will
기회가
still have a
있다고?
chance to fulfill your purpose once I'm gone.
그녀가 없는 세상은 어떤 모습이지?
Light, burdenless, an eternal pattern of forgetfulness leading into the joys of rediscovery. Everyone will be with the ones they
그저
love.
영원한 삶이 이어질
No
거야.
more fear, no more howling chaos. Just life, forever. There's a cruel irony to it all. The only way I could share my dream with the world was to never be able to see it for myself.
왜 이렇게 많아 대사가? 어째서 내가 세계의 죽음을 없애길 원하지?
If you need to ask that question, there's nothing I can say to move
얘는
you.
죽지 않는 세계를
You haven't
만들려고 하나
died.
본데?
You cannot die. So you cannot grasp the abject horror of dying.
어씨, 이제 한두 번밖에 없는 것 같은데? 그럼 공주를 아주 작은 존재로 생각하면 되는 거 아니야?
As you are now, you won't be able to will her into anything. You don't work the way a living being does. Not anymore. And as you were before, you couldn't be trusted with the knowledge of what she is. No one could be trusted with that knowledge. Intrusive thoughts have a way of creeping in and ruining
이게 제가
everything.
죽어야 했던 이유입니다.
That's why I had to die.
또 뭐가 있지? 어째서 처음부터 알려주지 않았지? 루프에 알고 있다. 넌 신이야? 아니면 신이었던가요? 난 이 모든 것을 보면 안 됐던 거지. 너가 어떻게 죽었지? 왜 그녀를 공주로 만들었지? 왜 하필 많고 많은 것 중에 공주야? 넌 어떻게
I
죽었어?
killed myself. It
스스로
happened to
끊었다고?
me. None of this would have worked if I was still alive. Nobody living
그래?
would know about her.
근데 여기서 사라지면 어떻게 되는 건데? 어이씨. 이제 한 번밖에 안 되나 보다. 어? 아니네. 끝났네. 그녀의 생각을 알아보고 있었어.
I've said my piece, and my time is up. I'm just an echo, and every echo fades away.
메아리.
You know what you have to do.
눈 감았다. 당신 정막이다. 오두막으로 간다. 그릇은 없다? 어째서? 아니 마지막 그릇이랑 대화도 좀 해보고. 오! 뭐야 이게?
I can finally see you.
얘네가 내가 선택한 그릇들인가? 이 5개의 얼굴이?
It's been so long, and my heart has ached for this moment. I've missed you dearly.
나도 네가 그리웠어. 나는 정막이야. 하지만 그게 무슨 의미인지 모르겠어.
Names are their attempts to capture that which cannot be captured. They call me the shifting mound, a pale imitation of what I actually am.
이제 무슨 일이 일어나지?
Ever the passive player, always reacting and never acting. But it's woven into your nature, isn't it? When the echo spun us from one into two, he gave you a choice. and
뭐야,
we
메아리
were
존재도 알고 있었나 보네?
I am
우리를
not
둘로
dead,
나누었을 때
but I contain it in my multitudes.
그는 당신에게 선택을 주었고 제게 역할을 주었다.
So, will you attempt to destroy me and bring about a world devoid of death and the possibility of
우리의
living?
자유를 쫓을 거다.
Or
아니면은
will you open the
죽음과
final
의미가 사라진
doors
세계를
of
만들 거야.
liberation?
얘를 파괴하면 죽음이 없는 세계가 된다는 소리잖아. 왜 나만 이 모든 책임을 지는 거야? 대화로 해결하자. 난 답을 알아야겠어. 내가 널 보내주면 세계는 영원히 끝장이야. 그럴 순 없어. 그래? 세계도 끝장인가 본데? 얘를 파괴를 안 해도? 다른 방법이 있을 거야. 죽인다. 이제 우리가 이곳을 떠날 시간이야? 일단 대화하자.
My very nature is paradox, as is yours. You cannot use
대화도 안
words
돼?
to grasp at things that are beyond their reach. And you cannot, but violence
뭐야?
and passion are dances that both of us know well. If this
아,
is what
내가
it takes
폭력과
to
분노
win,
걔 그릇
then so
하나
be
넣어가지고
it.
다른 그릇 나오면 안 돼요?
thought is
어,
a
이건 뭐야?
vine, and some thoughts nurture thorns that bleed the soul, and endless growth that blots your vision
이거는 아까
and
했던
strangles
그건데?
your trust.
가시동굴?
When I succumbed to myself, you patiently stood by me and cut the thistles that rooted in my skin.
잘라 주었지? 뭔데 여기 있네?
Your compassion is what freed us both, but compassion is a thing that must be nurtured, and you cannot nurture that which cannot change.
물론이지. 나는 우리가 서로를 증오하는 것을 원하지 않았어.
Then help me again. We are each other's liberation.
또 도와달라고? 오씨.
Brutality splashes you against the walls, but with stubborn defiance you rise again. And with the dance of our conflict, I was brought somewhere new. Without you, my world would have been so small. Do you remember the moment of your triumph? Do you remember the feeling of your blade finally cutting me down? My defeat was a gift. Without obstacles to overcome, we stagnate into nothing.
우린 영원히 침체되는 거야? 우리 모두 그 싸움을 상징했지, 안 그래? 침체가 그렇게 나쁜 거야? 고통과 잔혹함 없이는 얼핏 또한 존재할 수 없는 거야? 난 다른 이들을 지키기 위해 너와 싸운 거야. 날 위해서가 아니라. 이해했어. 우린 싸움을 계속할 필요가 없어. 항복한다? 너와 함께 떠날게.
And yet you changed regardless. Your perspective widened.
그럼에도 넌 발전했지?
Your little heart takes a stake into your body, and another, and another, and another. Do I miss your heart because I can't stand to see it go? But the stakes meant nothing to you. You had a desire, and you set that desire free. You lifting me and me lifting you. Forever and ever and ever. Consumed by true belief, there was nothing that could hold us back.
난 그때 감정이 눈에 멀어 있었어. 우리 모두 그걸 알고 있잖아. 항복한다. 나는 폭력을 상대하지 않아. 난 언제나 그 감정을 간직하고 있었어.
Then there's no need for you to fight like we are. Whenever you're ready, we can live together, hand in loving hand.
네가 나의 관점에서 바라보기 전까지는 너가 떠나지 않을 거야.
If you need more time to open your eyes, then I will give you
아직 2개 더 있어.
in the world.
얘 설득 시켜야 되나 보다 이거. 세이브하고.
To question everything is to deny proof of the reality that lies in front of you. To live alone within the caverns of your mind is to trap yourself in them forever. But you did not live alone. You found me, and we held trust in each other for no reason than to believe in something that wasn't us. Cold skepticism turned to liberation, but it required a journey to blossom.
얘는 이 말을 못하는 것 같은데?
Though you have blossomed, do you have no more journeys left to make? What of those in the spaces beyond? Would you erase the path ahead to hold everyone still?
난 모두를 그대로 유지하고 싶은 게 아니야. 길은 끝나기 마련인데 무슨 의미가 있지? 난 그들을 지키고 싶은 거야. 길은 비유에 불과해.
And that is what I want too, to protect them from the horrors of an eternity without me.
A boundless torrent of blades cut you from boundless angles. You are a body. You are gory ribbons. You are a body again. And you feel all of it. On and on it goes until your body
얘는 이제 이렇게 나오네 얘는.
alive, dead, alive, dead, then alive and dead, all at once. You learn to put yourself away and to follow the flow of reality, and you used it to rise above me.
You died countless steely deaths, and you lived countless short lives, and yet it is all so far behind you. Unjust impossibilities pushed you to become something you would never have been without them.
네가 그 그릇을 데려가지 않아도 우린 서로를 죽었을 거야. 우린 자매랄 운명이었어. 마침내 이겨서 기분이 굉장히 좋았어. 첫 번째가 좋은 말인 것 같은데. 노력의 의미를 부여했다. 노력의 의미를 부여했다? 이걸로 갈까?
And even then, what we saw was not an ending. When I thought I had reached an unconquerable peak, you showed me how much further I could still climb.
당신의 의지가 빠르게 사라지고 있다?
Nothing is immutable.
실패했나 보다
Everything
설득에.
that is exists only in relation to everything it isn't. There is no constant. There is no center. Open your eyes and accept what we are. We can leave this prison together.
잘못 선택했나 본데? 공주를 죽인다? 세이브 하나 하고. 자신의 생각이 옳다고 생각하기 쉬워져. 어떻게 될 거라 생각해?
It is from my vantage point that I can see the totality of truth. This universe dies, and a new one is born. And that one dies, and a new one is born. And you and I get to witness it all, weaving a tapestry of life wherever we go.
신이 된다는 선택인가? 죽인다. 공주를 죽인다. 뭐야? 하지만 분명 정답이 있고 이건 정답이 아니야. 난 널 죽이지 않을 거지만 풀어줄 수도 없어.
There is no something else. This, what we are, is everything.
Whatever you're trying to do right now, you don't have to do it alone.
네가 뭘 하려는 건지 모르겠지만 뭐지? 갑자기 웬 영웅의 목소리? 너는 어떤 영웅이지? 네 목소리가 얼마나 반가운지 넌 꿈에도 볼 거야. 너는 어떤
All
영웅이지?
of them? I
전부?
assume in the same way that you're all of you.
어떻게 도와줄 건데?
She's too many things all at once out here. If you want to get through to her, you need some way to get through all that divine confidence. I can help. There's still a piece of me nestled close to where it all began. I can take you there. I can take you to her.
It's time to resume our dance.
She's relentless, isn't she? Let's make this quick. Are you ready?
결국은 죽여야 되는 건가?
Then let's go.
같이. 오, 뭐야?
And here we are. I'd say we were back where it all started, but I guess it's a little after that.
어이, 뭔데 밖에 이거?
Do you need me to describe
아니,
things?
굳이? 하지 마. 다른 녀석은 없어? 근데?
It's just us. I think the
우리뿐이야?
rest of them are still out there, jumbled up in the rest of her.
해설자는 정말 사라진 거야?
Yeah, it's dead silent in here. Whatever it was that was left of him, I don't think it could handle you waking up to godhood. Pretty sure he got obliterated.
속이 시원하네. 여기서도 이제 단검을 가져간다, 들어간다 이 선택지가 있네. 죽여야 되냐, 풀어줘야 되냐. 죽이면은 일단은 세이브 하자. 세이브하고 그냥 들어가 보자.
Blade it is. I'm not sure what we'll be able to do without it, but your judgment has gotten us this far. The stairs. Do you remember the first time we were here? The first time we heard her voice?
Have you figured out what you want to do yet, or are you going to keep trying to find a center that doesn't exist?
아니요, 합의점은
It
존재해.
sounded just like that. A little sharp, a little menacing. Only she didn't know us. And
내려간다.
down we go. We shouldn't keep her waiting.
And there you
뭐야,
are.
이번에는 그냥 다 풀어져 있네.
Hands empty. So you don't feel like recreating our first meeting detail for detail.
첫 만남을 완전히 똑같이 재현할 생각 없나 보네. 아, 내가 처음에 무기 들고 가서 그런가 보네.
Maybe there's still room for us to chat before the final curtain call. What do you say?
그래, 내가 너의 관점을 바꿔주겠어. 난 신이 되고 싶지 않아. 넌 바깥의 저것과 같은 존재야?
No. I feel like I'm myself again.
내 생각에 우리에게 남은 길은 떠나는 것뿐이야. 우리 그냥 떠나는 건 어때?
Do you know where this cabin is? Because I don't. I don't even know what's supposed to be outside other than us. What would even happen if we leave? What would that even mean?
손을 잡는다.
Okay then. Let's leave.
아니,
I think I'm gonna stay right here. Whatever you're doing right
아니
now, wherever you're
이렇게
going,
끝이라고? 아니
looks like it's
손잡고 뭐
just
얘기하는 거
two.
아니었어? 혼자 남아도 괜찮겠어? 전부 고마워. 정말 같이 가지 않아도 되겠어?
Yeah, it wouldn't feel right. But I'll be okay. I don't think I'll be alone for long either. I'm sure I can find the others.
손을 맞잡은 채로 당신과 공주는 마지막으로 지하실을 떠난다. 계단을 올라가자 평소엔 폭력과 위협과 목소리들로 가득했던 공간에 편안한 정적이 흐른다. 하지만 그 정적에는 무언가 힘이 담겨있다. 미지에 대한 기대감이다. 계단의 끝에서 공주가 멈춰선다. 시선은 오두막 문을 향해 고정되어 있다. 그녀의 손이 떨리는 것이 느껴진다. 공주의 짧고 긴 삶들의 여정 속에서 그녀는 처음으로 자신을 확신하지 못한다. 그녀는 더 이상 맡아야 할 역할이 없다. 그럼에도 그녀는 아직 공주이다. 이내 그녀는 문을 향해 나아간다. 들뜬 듯이 당신의 손을 끌어당긴다.
This is it. I have no idea what it's going to be like out there. Not that I'm scared or anything. It's exciting, really. Anything could happen. And if it's bad, then it won't be bad. Not with you.
사랑해. 준비됐어. 이 앞에 무슨 일이 기다리고 있을지 아무도 몰라. 사랑해.
I love you too. But I'm trying not to be sappy about it. Don't make me get all emotional.
이게 잘 맞는 선택인가 이게? 이렇게 끝나는 거야? 해피엔딩인가 이거는? 무슨 엔딩이지? 이러면? 아니 근데 손 잡았다고 이게 바로 나가자 이게 성공해버리네. 아 이러면 다른 선택지 보는 것도 좀 애매한데. 죽이는 선택지는 좀 뭔데? 뱀, 고양이, 조그만 괴물? 어? 뭐야? 음악 플레이리스트? 우와. 우와 이런 것도 있어? 알겠고요. 뭐야 끝이야 이렇게? 만약에 여기서 이걸로 가볼까?
What I offer you is not perspective.
Whatever you're trying to do.
아, 이래도 영웅이 나타나는구나.
I don't. She's too. There's still a piece of me.
It's time to resume.
She's relentless. And let's go.
이래도 무조건 여기로 가는 건가? 이거? 아니요. 불러오게 해보자. 여기서 단검을 가져간다면?
That's probably for the best.
가자.
The stairs.
가져갔을 때도 한번
what you
보자.
Sounded just like. And down we go. We shouldn't keep her waiting.
And there you are, knife in hand. It really brings me back. You'll have all of eternity to yourself after this. Why don't we chat a little before I go?
그래, 대화나 하자. 다른 방법이 있을 거야.
I don't want to be at the end of that knife, so how about we figure something out? What if we tried doing this forever? I can do whatever you think I can, right? So make me put it all back. Make me fix the Echo's construct and make me wipe our memories of everything that's happened.
메아리의 구성체를 고치고 우리의 기억을 지워 모든 것을 잊게 만들 수 있도록 해줘.
Make me send us back to the beginning, before we woke up. Before either of us saw the truth.
우리가 진실을 깨닫기 전으로?
Can she really do that? Are you sure that's what you want?
그게 뭔 소리지? 네가 계속 존재한다면 결국 그들은 계속해서 죽고 고통받지 않아?
Fixing that is on you, not me. If you want me to help them, you'll have to make me help them.
그건 내 역할이라고? 결국엔 여기로 돌아오게 될 거야. 우리가 이 대화를 이미 한 적이 없다고 어떻게 믿어? 우리건 공평하지 않아. 난 너와 이곳에 있고 싶어. 다시는 혼자가 되고 싶지 않아. 공주의 계획에 동참한다? 동의한다? 이거 해봐.
Okay. If this is your choice, then I have your back. I guess I'll see you on the other side. She takes the blade from our hand, a fondness in her gaze.
갑자기 날 죽이는 거 아니야 이거? 나 죽이는 거구나 이거. 사랑해.
Oh, I love you too.
빠르게 보내줘. 이러면 어떻게 되는 거지? 공주와 영웅인데?
You're on a path. You're here to slay.
잠깐만, 여기서 떠난다는 뭐지? 떠난다는 이거야? 그냥 끝나는 거야? 말도 안 돼. 뭐야? 아니 오두막에 간다 했는데도 이거야? 설마 이거 그건가? 그냥 계속 리프되고 있는 건가? 방법을 찾을 때까지? 그런가 본데? 엔딩이네. 무조건 엔딩이네. 메인 메뉴. 그러면은 모르겠다. 뭐가 해피 엔딩인지는 모르겠고 제일 처음에 봤던 엔딩이 그나마 뭐 제일 좋은 것 같기도 하고 좋은 건지는 모르겠지만 뭐 불행한 건 아니지 않나? 그래도 뭐 나쁘지 않은 엔딩이었다. 그러면 뭐 지금까지 슬레이 더 프린세스였고요. 공주를 죽여라 라는 게임이었습니다. 일단 뭐 선택지가 엄청 많네요. 뭐 선택하는 재미도 있었고 뭐 조금 잔인하다는 점 좀 잔인한 부분이 좀 있어서 좀 아마 참고하고 해야 될 것 같네요. 그러면 지금까지 슬레이 더 프린세스였습니다. 이번에 뭐 한글 패치 나와서 해볼 분들은 해보면 되겠네요. 다운받아서. 일단 여기까지 하고 일단 다음 방송에서 뵙겠습니다.